What's up, everybody? How you doing? I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. Good thing I had the mic muted there, so you just had to hear the lovely music, you know? It's probably a lot better. Early stream today? Yup. Indeed, it is an early stream. So how's everyone doing today, yo? I decided I wanted to stream today because I have some shit I want to talk about. Oops. We're going to talk about purity culture. I wanted to talk about something creepy in honor of like Halloween beginning, but I didn't really have anything to talk about. I don't know. It's guess we're just going to have to figure something else out. The conservatives today will probably be scary enough, let's be honest. You know? Purity culture's creepy. True, that is true. Thank you for the follow. Thank you both. We got 2 followers just now. Welcome. You're extremely cool. Tell a spooky story. Alright, let's think. I don't have any spooky stories, man. Out of every content creator ever, Hunter has the most amount of my respect. Well, damn, dude. Thank you. Appreciate it. Also, keep in note that because we're talking about purity culture, I made sure to look as perverse as possible myself. So I look especially gross. I'm in a tacky X-Files shirt. My hair, although I did shower, this product I have isn't really doing my hair too nice. I don't know. I just, you know, I look a little creepy today. And maybe that's the Halloween twist. Maybe that's the Halloween twist right there. The amount of sugar in your Starbucks is spooky enough. Your lack of reading comprehension is spooky. Read that again, huh? Does that say Starbucks or does it say in? That's right. It says Dunkin'. And also, there is a lot of sugar in it. Actually, no, it's not sugar. Splenda is in it. So, fuck you. This is actually sugar-free. Is it hazelnut or pumpkin spice? It's got 4 shots of pumpkin spice, 3 shots of vanilla, and 4 Splenda in it. So, yeah, it's definitely pretty sweet. I know, I'm in no position it is definitely really sweet. I like my coffee sweet, you know? And if you don't like it, then I'll turn bitter on you. Now, of course, as always, if there's anyone here that would like to talk or debate, I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you. Is there something here that you dislike about me? Perhaps something about the fact that this stream already has a lot of dislikes for some weird reason? Maybe one of you people, instead of bitching out, would be happy to just come on over here and jump in the Discord. The link is down below. Wait, Splenda's really bad for you, worse than sugar? Thank you, doctor. We have Tim Hortons in Canada. Yeah. What the hell is purity culture? We'll get to it in a second. Now, if you're watching on Twitch, you are especially beautiful, based, and awesome. So if you are watching on Twitch, thank you very much for being here. Make sure you hit that follow button. While your notification will come up on stream, because when we get into segments, we turn off notifications. Another thing, if you're watching the stream and enjoying on this fine Sunday afternoon, then please consider putting something in the super chat. Your message will be displayed on stream and read and responded to live. If you're watching on Twitch, then you can send something via PayPal. My PayPal link is in the About section on my Twitch page. You can attach a message that way, and then you can have your message read and responded to live. This is a great way to help support the channel if you want, but again, this is only something that I ask. If you want to do it, then it's greatly appreciated. However, donations are by no means required. So if you don't feel like it, or you don't have the money or whatever, don't worry about it. Sit back, relax, enjoy the stream. Man, I wish I could just sit back, relax, and enjoy my own stream, you know? But instead, I'm up here entertaining you. Can you try to stream on TikTok as well? I cannot, no, because TikTok's TOS is way too strict. Twitch has too many ads on mobile. It's insufferable. You shouldn't really have too many ads on my channel, considering I'm not, like, monetized or anything on Twitch. Do they put ads on your stuff even if you're not monetized? I don't know. Hold on. I gotta fix something with my camera. It looks wonk. That looks too much. What's white balance? Maybe this is what I've been needing. Oh. Hi, everybody. Oh my god. I don't want to look yellow. Yeah. I look better as like a pale blue vampire. That doesn't do anything. I think this looks cool. Black Dynamite, thank you for the $2. Hunter, I will never donate to your channel ever. Checkmate. Biatch. Hey, Black Dynamite, I remember we talked a little while ago. I'd be happy to talk again if you want, because you have definitely donated a couple times some disses at me. I'd be more than happy to have another convo if you want. Twitch is now love that I'm catching this stream. Hunter, why don't you stream playing a scary game? Hey, maybe we should play the famous Slender Man game. You know? That could be fun. Hold on. Where's the original Slender Man game? No, yeah, I don't play any games, guys. I'm lame. This is why I'm not cut out. Maybe I'm not cut out for Twitch. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stonewall you. Oh, if there's someone talking shit, then they can get into the Discord, yeah. As always. Lovely Planet, thanks for the 10 bucks. In fact, I will donate to your channel. Wow, very based. More based than Black Dynamite. He's still thin, but he's got a booter belly. Hey guys, I'm wearing a t-shirt. Okay, are you... Fuck off. Stop objectifying me. All right, should we go ahead and jump into the first topic? Even though I really like to begin with a debate. I always like to begin my streams with debates. But there's just no one here that wants to talk. I don't know. The first topic is emotional abuse. Okay, you know what? Fuck it. That'll be the first thing we just talk about here briefly. This isn't going to be like a segment or anything. This will purely just be like a thing on our stream. Maze, thank you for the $5 PayPal donation. Thank you to my generous Twitch supporters. I love you all so much. Hey, sorry if that came out impolite, but is it okay if you can sometimes do other types of fun content because it's a dry time for politics? Thanks. Yeah, sure. Although it's not actually that dry of a time for politics, to be fair. There's still a lot going on. Particularly, I guess this is, you know what? This is a break from politics for you, buddy. So, Aristocracy had the famous conversation with Anna Frills.
Okay, so I'm gonna get...
And how many people saw this? Did anybody, how many people watched this? Now, I'm willing to bet money, okay? Now, I could be wrong, but I am willing to bet money that this is not going to be the end that Anna talking about or to Destiny. I think that this is going to go on forever. Personally. I hope not. But this conversation, Eris did a really good job. There were a couple parts in the beginning that I really wish she would have hammered down on, particularly. But the overall conversation, broadly speaking, Aristocracy did really, really well with this conversation. And Anna Frills is just... She claimed... Where did she claim that blocking was abuse? Hold on. Maybe there's no chapter for that. At one point, she claimed that blocking was abuse. There were some things that Eris didn't say that I wish she would have said. But this isn't supposed to be a critique. I like Aristocracy a lot. And like I said, overall, she did fucking awesome in this conversation.
That you disregard, like, the cause, how you can be also the cause of suffering for other people.
But, like, I always care about that, and I always ask people to tell me. Like...
But he did tell you. You didn't listen.
He never told me his feelings.
He
would never talk about his feelings.
So, there's just so many things that... So, let's... I don't even know if I want to get into the whole thing here, because I think this might just... I think it's going to be done. But, I mean, obviously people are going to react to this. Obviously people are going to talk about this. But basically, yeah, I think the general rundown of what happened, it sounds like Destiny and this chick hooked up, like, a year and a half ago now. And then afterwards, Anna started acting really just weird and started sending, like, a ton of messages and being, like, borderline, like, harassing, kind of. Even though, like, Destiny claims he was really clear that, like, they were not going to have a relationship. Like, he says that he made that really clear. And apparently, I think he said he even has DMs that prove that. But yeah, basically, like, they hooked up, and then afterwards, this Anna girl just would not stop talking about him. And then after that, she tried to claim that, like, his behavior towards her was abusive. So, like, because Destiny blocked her, that's stonewalling, and that's abuse. It was, like, fucking insane. Like, really, really nutty shit. That it's true that if the roles were reversed, if it was a guy non-stop messaging a girl, everyone would be like, oh my god, he's so fucking creepy. Holy shit, get a restraining order, call the police. Probably rightfully so, but it would be like, for some reason, she thinks she's justified in doing some of that because the way he was acting by blocking her was stonewalling, and that was abuse, and her therapist said that that was abuse, so she needs to talk about it. Like, it's just fucking weird shit. But yeah, Eris did a good job at, like, drawing Anna out and kind of forcing Anna to acknowledge that, like, there may have been some, like, dickish behavior on Destiny's part, sure, but, like, there was also some pretty bad behavior on Anna's part too. But even near the end of the conversation, there was a point where Eris pointed out a clear example where Anna would have been considered abusive by her broad standards, how she paints everything, it's abusive, kind of. she would have been considered abusive in harassing Destiny after he had blocked her on multiple platforms, and she kept going on different platforms, messaging him over and over again on different platforms. But then, when it's Destiny's behavior, Anna was very much, it was abuse, it's abusive, that's what my therapist said. And then when it was pointed out to her that some of her behavior could also be considered abusive, which I think that that's being painting with too broad of a brush, but we were going by, Eris was going by her standards. She like backed up when it was her behavior and was like, I guess that it was a little bit toxic and problematic. Like, hold up, come on. No. You're not going to say everything they did was abuse. And then when it's you, when you did something that was like a clear-cut example of like harassment type behavior, all of a sudden, I guess it was a little on the toxic side. Come on. But hold on, let me pull up her Twitter, because there was one thing, or I think two things that I wish that Eris had done, but like I said, this isn't supposed to be a critique of Eris or anything. I just need to get Anna's Twitter up. Hold on. What the fuck is her Twitter, dude? Come on. Hold on.
Me that I haven't been abused. I know I've been abused. I have read the research on it. I literally worked as a crisis counselor for years. I literally am trained. I'm state trained. I have the fucking certificate on my wall for domestic violence.
They don't treat themselves, right?
Yeah, I know, but like abuse isn't like a diagnosis. Like anybody can point out abuse. It's not a diagnosis. You know?
Sure, right? But people can have, it's possible. Like I think that there were some toxic things that were done to you, right? I just, in my opinion,
I mean, I was abused. I showed you the like you're okay. Ignoring all the things I showed you.
Okay, a guy not responding to your messages, right? And sometimes being a dick is not emotional abuse.
Okay, well, I mean, you're gonna have to explain to me how that is then, that all these therapists are saying that it is. It's stonewalling. It's the silent treatment. That is abuse. Why is it that the multidimensional measure of emotional abuse, which I took, it's the survey that is used, even...
So, holy shit, I took the survey, I prove it. So right here is this is just one thing that I wish that Eris had pointed out, is at the beginning, and oftentimes you'll notice with these conversations with Anna that she backs up a lot of the times, and I think part of the reason she keeps on coming back to it and keeps on talking about it, even though she's repeatedly agreed to stop talking about it, is because she believes she's valid because she has the research to prove that she was abused, right? And I kind of wish that Eris had greeted her on that playing field there and actually addressed the research part of it too. Because Anna makes a clear-cut example as to why she is misappropriating research here in order to justify her claims that Destiny was abusive. So for example, when Destiny like blocked her, it's my understanding that what happened was she started sending like weird messages and was like getting way too personal and like trying to like diagnose him or something, and was just being like way too over the top. Destiny sent her a message and was like, all right, I don't want to talk anymore, we're done, and then blocked her. And then she continued to message him on a bunch of different platforms because she was claiming this was abuse. So she posts this: emotional abuse can occur in any emotionally close relationship, whether romantic, sexual, or both. Hostile withdrawal is the specific type that I experienced. It causes distress and heightened anxiety among other psychological impacts. So, hostile withdrawals. Let's see. Sulked or refused to talk about the issue. Well, it's my understanding that Destiny made it clear why she was stepping over her boundaries and he didn't want to talk to her anymore. Refused to acknowledge the problem. I'm not sure what problem there was. Refused to discuss problem. Acted cold or distant when angry. So it's obvious that Anna looks at this and she sees this part, acted cold or distant. Well, Destiny got mad and then he acted distant. Holy shit, abuse. But no, it's not picking one thing off the motherfucking checklist. It's not a grocery list. It's all of this combined. So, first of all, you're not in a relationship with the dude, so I don't even know how you could technically apply this, because by your broad brush of it's abuse to block somebody who you've had some kind of a relationship with, even if it's a friendship, by that logic, it would be abusive for a girl to block a guy after a bad Tinder date. Think about that. Think about a violation of that privacy for the woman. Like, that's fucked up. But by your logic of it's abuse to block someone who you've had any kind of attachment to at all, well, then it would technically be abuse by that standard. 100%. Why does this thing keep making... Oh. Sorry. So you can look at this list here, and it's fucking obvious that it's all of this combined, because then it's factor 2, domination and intimidation. You'll never get away from me. That's not what Destiny was saying. Destiny's been begging her to go away. If anything, this applies more to her. Threatened to throw something at partner? No. Intentionally destroyed belongings? Threatened to harm partner's friends. So these are all in conglomeration that can equal into emotional abuse. So for example, if you were married to somebody, okay, and maybe you had something happened, your husband lied to you, and you got upset, and you said, hey, you lied to me, and I really think we need to talk about this. And then their husband is like, no, fuck off, I don't want to talk about this. No, there's no problem here, you know, you don't understand. No, forget it. And then they start acting cold and distant. And then more, you're like, I just want to talk to you. No, fuck off, stop, get away from me, bitch. Like, you're constantly pushing them away, refusing to talk about the issue. And then maybe there is some threatening, like, honey, we need to talk about this. You blatantly lied here to me, and I just want to, like, try to work this out for the sake of our marriage. Just, will you never leave me alone? Or I guess it would be the opposite, right? You'll never get away from me. Or I don't know. There's just... It's all in conglomeration. It's a holistic perspective. It's not just picking one thing off of a list. I just wish that that Eris had addressed that at one point. And there were a few times too that Anna just blatantly lied, or just didn't, or like told half-truths, and I felt like she should have been called out for that. But either way, I do wish that someone had pointed out the way that she obviously misappropriates this information. And this is just me reading the thing that she posted herself. So I don't know. It just...
by the CDC to measure emotional abuse. Why is it that, like, I mean, like, it's like the part that's called hostile withdrawal. I mean, you see the survey. It literally says, like, where's the question? Hold on. Let me find it. Like, in my document, I took screenshots of this. And it clearly says psychological emotional victimization. Refused to acknowledge a problem that the other person felt was important. Sulked or refused to talk about an issue. Like, I mean, these are all things he did to me. These are emotional abuse. Became angry enough to frighten the other person. Intentionally avoided the other person during a conflict or disagreement. Like, that happens.
But that's within a relationship. It's not just avoiding any person. So I have a yard sale, and then all of a sudden someone comes up and they're like, hey, you said you would sell me this shit for $3 instead of $5. And I'm like, no, back up. No, I don't want anything to do with you. Stop. What? You're refusing to acknowledge a conflict that we have? Are you abusing me right now? Like, it's within a relationship, not just with any person. It's all misappropriated. It's so painful. Dude, holy shit. Alright. I guess no one wants to chat, but that's alright. If anybody wants to debate on it at any point, I'd be happy to talk. I laughed at her when she was crying. It's just I just wish I kind of... Okay, here's the thing. You can tell me if you think this will be acceptable. If Anna breaks her promise that she made on this stream to stop talking about Destiny, if she breaks that promise, which I think she will, but if she does, then I think I'm going to ask her to talk if she wants to talk. And then I'm going to confront her about the misappropriation of data, because I think that, or research. I think that, I'm the only one that would be able to take that approach and actually meet her on her own, like, ground. I think I could do that. It's going to be better for her and everyone if she does stick to her promise and doesn't talk to him anymore or about him anymore publicly. But yeah, if not, I'm going to talk to her. I feel like I could just even explain to her, like, I would love to chat with you about this. You got a few ready? Wait. And then I would also if you guys want to talk, then put tell me your reason why in the waiting room text, and then I'll put you in the live thing if you're getting the waiting room. I can talk about fitness. I don't want to. My dude, she broke that promise like an hour after. No, she didn't. She tweeted about going on Eris's show. She did not tweet about Destiny. She's not broken the promise yet. She already did? Hold on. Unless it was... She has not posted anything on Twitter since. Other than talking about she appreciates how Eris was respectful, etc., etc. Thank you for the follow. What's up? Is there a Discord link? Yep, right in the About section on my Twitch. No, she hasn't broken the promise. But if she does, I'm going to reach out to her, ask her if she wants to talk to her a little bit about how I think that she's misappropriating this data and research. And then I also want to explain to her that, like, there's a way that I think she could actually communicate the way she's feeling in a much more effective manner that would be more likely to get the results that she wants. So rather than, it's abuse, such a morally loaded, morally charged thing, on top of the crying and the tears and the, I'm not crazy, like, that just unfortunately makes you look crazy. It doesn't mean you are, but it doesn't look good either. So there's a much better way that, like, you could have even explained your feelings, I feel like, to Destiny in a way that would have been, like, more likely, I guess, to see, like, sympathy, receive sympathy for it. Like, hey, it was just, you know, I admit, first you start off with admitting your own fault, and you need to be honest about it too, and then not make excuses for it. So first you would have to admit your own fault. Hey, I'm really sorry that I made a mistake with sending you so many messages. That was really, really out of line, and that was honestly acting in a way that was bordering on harassment. I think that was really bad of me, and I'm sorry about that. I just also hope that you could understand that sometimes I do get a little anxious, and when I knew that you had, like, private information about me, I wasn't sure if you were gonna, like, leak something. Maybe I was getting a little bit too, you know, excited, or I thought something bad, really bad was gonna happen. Either way, I just hope you can understand how I really would have appreciated a response that clarified what was going on, or like, hey, this is why we're not going to talk anymore, or something. I don't know. I just feel like there could have been a way that we could have done this differently. Either way, I hope you can also understand how it came across from my perspective. And of course, I'm not saying that, like, you're abusive, and I don't think that you were, like, trying to be abusive or something, but I do think that there is some research to suggest that sometimes in a way, like, by just blocking someone out so abruptly, it could be, you know, emotionally strenuous on the person at the very least. So I don't know. I just hope you can understand it from my perspective too. Like, do you see how if she said it like that, I honestly bet Destiny would be like, Yeah, that's fair. Like, instead of the whole like, you are abusive, I looked it up, I did the chart, okay, my therapist said, like, instead of all this, like, whoa, calm down, bro. Like, try to explain from your perspective. I don't know. I just think that it's so much a much stronger way to go about things. All right, I went through. I don't hate to love Hunter Avalon anymore. I think it has to do with your recent journey into DGG and BreadTube. Let me talk to this kid. What's up? The Backtrack Podcast. What's up?
We've actually talked before. How are you?
Doing good, man. You said you don't really like me anymore now. What's going on?
Well, it's not that I don't like you. It's that I don't hate to love you anymore. You know, I just said I don't hate to. What was it? I don't love to hate you or something. What's your
The
your
guy
little
you love to
slogan you
hate?
had? The guy you love to hate. I don't like. It's just not the same.
You
You
just
know,
don't hate on me
you're.
anymore?
It's not even that. It's like before you were always in a position where you're either moving, like you're going somewhere, like you're always going somewhere with what you were doing.
What do you
And now
mean?
it feels like you're going into like the bread tube stuff and like the DGG stuff, and you're becoming less and less like unique. You're becoming less and less like the hunter, like the hunter that like changed his mind on a bunch of issues and was like, you seem to be going into like, oh well, let's get the rhetorical strategy so we don't have to lose the debate. But you lost a lot of debates previously because you didn't have the rhetorical strategies because you were wrong, and you were wrong on those
No.
points because you've well, I
No,
mean,
I
you were
lost a
wrong on the
lot of
points you made.
debates. I lost a lot of debates because I was not rhetorically trained or effective at all. And I also didn't really understand like how to debate and how to be rhetorical at the time. So like
But being
on
but
Tim
that
Pool,
that's
for
sort of.
example, like
Mhm.
that's probably was my biggest blunder, of course. I hate to say it, but it's true and I'm not going to deny it.
But
But
but that
there
that's
were
sort
some
of
stuff in there that I was not rhetorically effective on, but I
yeah.
absolutely was correct on.
There's some maybe that's true. I
Like
don't
the
really
thing
know,
with
but
Biden's
like
son and the Ukraine thing,
mhm.
I was totally right on that, and I wasn't read up enough. I was too unprepared because I didn't know what the fuck the topics were even going to be on. It was whatever. I'm
Well,
not
I mean that
making
just seems like a lack
excuses.
of
I'm just
preparation. That just seems like a lack of preparation. I mean that maybe is probably not a good example. I'm just saying like your whole style was sort of like it sort of developed into something very like boring, and it used to be very it used to clash. Everything used to
how am
clash.
I
It used to
boring?
be
You realize that I'm like meaner to most people I debate than like
yeah,
Destiny or
I know,
Vosh or anyone. Like I
but
still have
like
my
but like you
super edgy, cutting side to myself, and I feel like I've really been
but
bringing
you've
out my
also
witty side again too.
you all true, but you also have like lost a lot of what is it? Like, I mean, you've lost a lot of the edginess. You're not as edgy as you were before, obviously, because you were on the right. But like,
But
it's
what
not
kind
even
of
that. I mean, I'm on the left. I'm on
edginess?
the left. I'm on the left. Actually, I'm just interested. I'm just like interested in seeing like your transformation. You've adopted the GGG tactics and all the other sort of stuff. So you're just sort of becoming part of that community, and you could have had your own separate thing. That's what I'm kind of saying. You're sort of blending into
I
this.
do think that I am having my own separate
I
thing.
know, but
How am
you're
I
still becoming
having
part of this amalgamation
how am I becoming
because
like a DGG or just
well
because there's some stuff
you've
that I like about Destiny?
well, no, it's because you've like I mean, I've watched you talk to Lorenzo, actually, I know Lorenzo, Nefarious P, um, about your DGD tactics and stuff like that, and like you guys were talking about that, and it was really interesting to see you guys talking about that because it shows like how these like debate tactics are like oh they're just like it's just like it's like guerrilla warfare. It's like guerrilla warfare in debates, and it's interesting to see that. I don't know if I disagree with it. It's just something that
I fucking
I've
love
noticed.
debates, to be honest. I don't know what you mean by DGG tactics though. Like, to be
Well,
honest, I
it's
think that
like
I'm getting pretty
there's
good at debate. I
I
don't
mean, I have a few I have a few clips of you talking about it if you wanna actually look at it.
DGG
But
tactics. What do you? Yeah, go ahead. What do you mean? Just
it's
explain it to me.
like you talking about like for example, I have some pictures, of some videos of you, some clips of you talking about optics, like talking about like certain strategies to use. Like you talk about like oh trailing behind them in the first half, and then in the last half you sort of get at them and find the contradictions in their arguments, that sort of thing. There's
Yeah.
certain things that are very particular and very precise about DGG that it makes him a lot different than other people, which obviously it must be the case because he is so popular. Obviously, there's something different about him, but he's not that good of a debater besides his rhetorical strategies. If he was really wrong in an issue, then he's probably going to get absolutely blasted if he can't use his rhetorical strategies to his advantage, which he has been able to do successfully, which is why he has gained popularity. But it's just not a very satisfying thing for at least me to see. And I mean, I guess You're not
So
really
this is the thing.
for
See,
me,
is
but
it sounds like you're saying I'm like ripping off Destiny, but then other people tell
well,
me
no,
I'm
I'm not.
like,
No, I'm not saying you're whipping off Destiny. I don't
well,
want to
no,
say
but then
that.
I know, whatever. But then there's
Okay.
other people too that are like, you're just like Vosh. You're a carbon copy of Vosh. It's like,
No, but
and
you
but
haven't. I
here's
don't
the
think you've
thing is
decided which
that
way you're
here
going down. I don't think you're gonna go down either roads. I think
I
you're gonna
think
go
that
somewhere in the
you
middle.
well no what I'm saying is that sometimes I think it's that people are trying so hard to compare me to something else when maybe I am not like Vosh, I'm not like Destiny, or maybe I am just me.
You are.
When I was on the right, it was the same thing. Hunter's like Steven Crowder. Hunter's like Onision. Hunter's like, and it was just like, no, I'm not like any of these people, really. I'm just not. Like I usually have my own shit at the end of the day. And you're right that there is definitely some style of debate that I've picked up from Destiny. Like, I can't deny that. And I also have picked up some style of debate from Vosh, too. I'm not going to deny that either. But I think that I also come to my own conclusions. I form my own opinions.
I
Usually, when
agree.
I argue about something, I know what I'm talking about. At least most recently, I've gotten a lot better at that. And the thing is part of that does come from the fact that I feel I've gotten a little bit better at debate. And that also makes me feel a little more confident because now I know that I can defend my ideas also in a like effective way. Because before, I'm not afraid to talk about like certain ways to debate. Like it's, yeah, like before I would be real. I've had convos with Vosh about this. Before I would be like primarily focused on just the factual element, which is still super important. Don't get me wrong. But of
Hmm.
course, there's also a mix of how you develop, how you deliver that
Yeah,
factual
I'm aware of that.
information
I'm
as
very,
well,
very
of
aware of that.
course.
But
So now
I
that
just don't.
I feel I have more confidence going into conversations because I know how to deliver what I believe to be true in a more effective way. I don't think that that's a bad thing.
Well, I think actually you deliver. And I guess that's maybe true, but I think you can deliver it more. I don't know if it's honestly, but it's just like it's just like the DGG tactics. It's not robotic. I don't want to say it's robotic because it's not robotic necessarily speaking, but it's a formula. There's a formula to it,
Do
and
you
there's
think
things you
Vosh's
do as an
DGG
area.
tactics?
No, there's an entirely different. It's not an entirely different animal, but actually he developed. The entire like bread tube sort of developed from the relationship between the split between Destiny and Vosh. So that sort of split became bread tube, if you will. But they're not that much different. So kind of, but no. Um, they came from the same place, kind of. But and then
Mm-hmm.
Vosh actually took a lot from DGG. But um,
So you kind of sound like you think a lot of people use DGG tactics, and maybe that's just because
well, no, it's
DGG
because
uses really
he's
solid debate rhetoric and stuff. And like maybe it's not that maybe Destiny isn't a DGG tactic anything. Maybe that's just like effective rhetorical strategy.
Well, no, effective rhetorical strategy is like a cope for not being able to actually debate. I
No,
mean,
that's such bullshit.
no, it's not. No,
Notice
it's
how
not because you
since
can
I've
actually
learned
debate your
how to get
points.
wait, notice how since I've learned how to be a little bit more rhetorically effective in debates, I've actually like won almost every debate I've done.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that. I mean, it's not. It's okay. You're not understanding me. You are technically winning your debates, yes, but I feel like there's satisfaction to winning debates without those rhetorical strategies that you don't find elsewhere.
And I bring
I mean,
those different things. So, for example, I'm different than Vosh and Destiny in the sense that for most debates, well, not ones when I have random people on, of course, but for any prepared debate with any larger figure or something, I come very prepared. I have screenshots. I usually have direct quotes, and I have a very solid point that I'm trying to bring home. So, a perfect example of this is BX Bullet. I debated her differently than Destiny did. Destiny debated her, wasn't it twice now? Like,
but yeah.
and I debated her completely differently. I took direct quotes and I had an actual like thesis that I was trying to prove throughout the debate. Whereas
Oh wait, actually have a
Destiny
better
usually goes for the
thing.
more conversational route,
Yeah.
especially now. And like if it's an aggressive debate, I know he likes to get aggressive too, but like
Mhm.
especially recently he's mainly been focusing more on the conversational aspect. And don't get me wrong, that's super effective too. And that has its place. But you've heard me say it before. That has its place. But I also think that it's really important for there to be a place for someone like me to be just fucking mean to some people.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, I was supposed to make a different point. I tried to read your thing off, but I realized it came from a different place. But no, I used to hate to love Hunter Avalon because like I used to watch you and I was like when you were way back conservative, like, and then I saw your progression a little bit, then I sort of didn't even see for a while. Then I sort of came back, watched all your videos, like, oh, this is really cool, and like the way you changed was like very interesting to me. But I don't know. I don't know. I think you should keep it more fluid and stop associating. I don't know. Maybe just not associating, because the whole thing with the whole DGG thing is the DGG thing is the mainstream. You were never the mainstream, Hunter. That's what my whole point. My whole point is your brain was never the mainstream, and you're getting a lot of the mainstream stuff, and maybe it's fine, maybe it's okay, but it's not the Hunter Avalon that I watched, because the Hunter Avalon I watched wasn't really following the main line. He was going on his
So
own
I
path.
have
He
to
was
be
doing
a
his own thing.
conspiracy theorist to stay the
No, you don't have to be a
original OG
conspiracy
Hunter
theorist.
Avalon?
Well, no, you don't. Well, you.
I don't just
I
always
just,
take mainstream opinions. I
well,
don't.
no, you don't. You
I
don't. You
take
don't.
the
But
I try
the
to
thing is,
take the correct opinion.
yeah, I know,
And
because
oftentimes the
why,
correct
why is that? Why, not why is
What
that?
do
But
you
like, you don't
mean why? Because
always
I
the
care about
person.
being
No.
truthful and factual.
Mhm.
That's part of my brand also, is trying to be like really factual with stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but it's like,
and it turns out that a lot of the times the mainstream is reporting pretty factual
well,
stuff.
I
I
don't
know it kind
necessarily
of
agree,
hurts.
but
No, it's
I don't
true. It
necessarily
is.
agree.
At the end of
No,
the
it's not
day,
really true.
yeah.
It's not really true, because
Yeah, it's true for
well,
the most part.
I
Yeah.
disagree.
Some of the like
I mean, no,
opinionated, don't get me wrong, some of the opinionated shit
I
and the commentators on there can be pretty stupid,
mhm.
and the media is not 100% perfect. I'm not like jerking off like CNN particularly, but usually like the mainstream understanding of certain issues is there for a reason. Like look around, like the mainstream opinion of the vaccines. It's a perfect
Oh
example.
no, I disagree entirely.
Oh, really? So what do you
Oh, I
disagree
don't want to
with?
debate it, but I mean, I could never debate it with you, and you would absolutely destroy me on every single substantive point. But
But if you
what would
disagree,
I say?
I'll go
Well,
easy
no,
on you.
I've
But wait, what do you mean? I won't use my DGG tactics.
um, I mean, what do you mean about the mainstream narrative? Because there's a lot of stuff the
Like
mainstream narrative that I wouldn't necessarily.
the mainstream narrative that like the vaccine is safe, effective, you should
Okay.
get it. We have to get boosters, that's good. That kind of shit.
Okay,
It's gonna come out
I
for
just I
kids
disagree. I
soon. This
disagree.
is
I disagree. I
good.
disagree. I disagree with maybe the last booster
I'm
part, but
really
I also
excited about
disagree
that
with like the
actually.
idea of I mean, that's your whole thing. I don't really have an opinion on it, but I think my biggest thing is like the way we look. Especially, I really hate the way you look at like conservatives now. You are so mean to them. Like
Because they're
you're too
so
mean to them.
stupid.
No, no, but you can't. They're part of a system, dude. They're the result of a system. Okay, it's not their fault that they're being like brainwashed constantly. You have to understand that you were there at some point too, dude.
Yeah, and
You were at some
guess
point
what got
one
me out of
an
it? It was
asshole.
someone being mean to me, partially.
Well, that's not how everybody's gonna be though. Dog. I mean,
Well,
everybody's not
I'm
gonna
not. You
be.
got to also understand that
That's
there's a
people's chunk
difference
farther
with.
down.
Hold on. You've got to understand that if I were going to sit down at the dinner table off air and have a chat with a close friend who was a conservative, then I would go about that differently than if I'm
Yeah,
on a
I know.
panel. I'm
I
not
know.
really just too worried about the
No, but
actual conservative I'm dunking on. I'm more worried about the people
I'm not.
watching it that are going to have their minds changed when they see how fucking
mm,
stupid some of these people are.
No, I want to. No, but that's also going to affect other people in the same way. It's gonna be very negative for some people to see that sort of like interaction,
I don't care.
and some people aren't going to act in
Then
the
they
same
can
way.
so what?
But
And
you're
then
not
you know
really.
what?
You're not.
Some people
What
are
do you
going
mean?
to see
So
it the
what?
other
You're
way.
affecting
What about
people.
how what some people are going to be like, all this person does is empathize with these people. All this person does is
Well,
take a
you can.
super
They can.
nice and polite approach. There's other streamers for that.
No. Okay, okay. But the thing is, you're always affecting it. Even if another streamer is going to do that, you're still contributing to
Also,
the
forgive
hatred
me if
against.
this is a
And
DGG
you also
tactic,
go on the
but
you also go on
didn't
the
you
Hassan
just
line.
complain that I was not edgy enough? And now you're saying I'm being too mean.
No, because you can be edgy without being an asshole. You know, you're being like you're
But
like
my
Hassan.
edginess
You're
is
trying
part
to
of
go.
the
You're trying to go.
assholery.
Wait, no,
That's
no.
the thing.
Yeah. But your assholery is like normally like really like uppity. And it's like you know when you're being that kind of asshole. But then there's like being an actual asshole. You're being an actual asshole by going the same like route with Hassan. Like he goes with the the hogs, look at the hogs, look at the hogs, and talks about them in really degrading language, and you're really going down that line with talking about conservatives, and it's
I
really
really don't
concerning.
talk about all. Well, that's
Well,
not
you
true.
don't
I do
always,
think
but
that conservatives are pretty
you have been
stupid.
doing it more
But the
often.
thing
Well,
is that I don't call them
try to-
hogs. I don't.
but
I wouldn't go
you don't
that
do that.
far. I think that
I will
that's
accept
uncool.
that. But you're slowly. I think you're slowly getting worse and worse with being able to like actually communicate with them effectively. Maybe that's
I
their
don't
fault.
know. The
Maybe
thing
that's
is
their fault. I don't know.
that you got to remember too, from my approach here, when it's on stream, I'm usually thinking a little bit more about the audience, because I know there are going to be conservatives right here watching, and they're the ones who are going to be convinced. No one on my stream is, even if they are convinced, they're never going to fucking admit they're convinced on stream. Like, that's never going to happen. So
Well, okay.
it's just it serves a broader goal, and I know it because I have people that constantly comment and message me telling me, hey, I really respect you for walking away from the right, and you helped me do the same thing. Some of it, my shtick, my brand, my unique thing is making the opposition look like idiots, because in many ways they are. This was the same approach I took with some of the like dipshits on the left, and I still criticize some of the dipshits on the left.
Yeah, I know. I keep doing that. Keep that up. But like, I don't know. You're sort of getting off the whole line here. But I don't know if I have any other real criticism of you. I think it's sort of that's all I had. But it's always a pleasure to talk to you, Hunter. And I hope you do well. I'll still be watching out for what you're doing and stuff like that. But
It's because you're
it's
still
interesting.
gonna hate to watch me. Now you just, oh,
I
Hunter's so mainstream, but you're still tuning in.
I am.
You're right
You
back
know
to
what?
where you started,
You're
buddy.
right. You're right. You're right.
And then slowly
Pleasure
but
talking
surely
to
I'll
you.
convince you.
Maybe we'll see. I
All
doubt
right,
that
man.
though.
See you later.
Pleasure talking to you. See ya.
All right. People want to debate veganism and shit. Nah. The problem is that no one wants to see me argue with anti-vaxxers anymore, but I like arguing with them so much. Hey, why don't I post something on on Reddit? Someone in here, post my Discord link in Reddit. On a Reddit, like a Trump Reddit or a conservative Reddit. And say that Hunter wants to argue about, like, gay people. Just put my most inflammatory takes up there. No, bad idea. No, good idea. Go. Go, my minions. Flee! I want to argue with someone. I want to argue with someone that I can be mean to, because that guy that I just talked to was too nice. Shit, how we doing on Twitch? Whoa, 117 viewers on Twitch. What's up? No, Hunter, it's not worth it. It is worth it. F you. Okay, why don't we get into our actual topic, because we've been streaming now for an hour and we haven't even talked about anything on my title card. We'll check one more time to see if I lost my bet yet. Nope. All right, still no tweet from Anna. Okay. Right to bear arms, LOL. Thank you for the follow. I very much appreciate it. Also, Black Dynamite, thank you for the $10.01. Wow, lovely planet. That's super funny, bro. Hashtag sarcasm. Oh, shit. If you guys want to get into, like, a war in the super chat, I mean, go for it. Julp Mint, thank you for the follow. I love you. All right. I don't really want to get into the purity stuff yet. Let's go do the Matt Walsh stuff first. Or you know what? Even better. Let's do fucking Fox News. All right. Let's get some music playing back here. Okay. I like this. So, Fox News came under fire just earlier today for pretty much being caught deceptively titling their shit. So, they want to attack a Democrat. Tammy Duckworth is her name. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not too familiar with this person. Maybe Mike from PA is Joker laughing at me right now for my lack of knowledge. I don't know. Hunter is a joke and probably sold out the money, got too nice on Twitch. I don't know if this guy's serious, but if he is, he should definitely get in the Discord. So, isn't this loading? What the fuck? Whatever. It looks like shit right now, and I really don't know why, but I don't really care. So, this is the main headline, which is like what you see. Think of how easy it would be to like scroll past this part. And also, if you post the link on Twitter or any social media site, you're only going to see this. Democrat Tammy Duckworth hasn't paid property tax on her Illinois home since 2015. So when you hear this, you're like, oh, damn, that doesn't really sound good. That sounds like someone not paying taxes. It's kind of fucking weird. And then the little blurb down here, the like tiny disclaimer text. The U.S. Senator takes advantage of a county tax break for disabled veterans that applies regardless of income, a report says. So I don't know, is this trying to like roast her because she's not paying taxes? She's a disabled veteran. What? It's just so fucking obvious that that this is dishonest. This is deceptive in the highest degree. This is absurd. Like, if you looked at this and then just scrolled past it, you wouldn't even notice this part. And then I guess they're just trying to, like, shit on her because, LOL, she says tax the rich but doesn't pay taxes. Dude, how much money... Yeah, so it's one of these, like, is $400,000 really that rich kind of conversation that I'm not really willing to get into. She's a veteran. She's also recently disabled, and she's able to take advantage of these benefits. I think if you're a veteran, you probably shouldn't have to pay income tax, to be fair. Or income tax, yes. Property tax, to be fair. You should not have to pay that if you're a veteran. Israel apparently wants to debate abortion with you. I don't want to debate abortion with anybody. I don't care. Tell them to either pick a new topic or just leave. But yeah, I thought this was pretty fucking hilarious. And then in other news, in conservative clown world, Matt Walsh. Dude. Matt Walsh is like such an interesting character. He's kind of like, okay. Trying to think how I can break this down best. Try to imagine 2014 through peak like 2016 conservative discourse, memes, that whole style, right? Imagine that. Built in, maybe like AI built into a like robotic figure that was then paid to regurgitate the same exact dumb fuck talking points. I recognize that wasn't explained that well. Just try to imagine a grown man with his brain stuck in 2016. I think that's a good way of putting it. So Matt Walsh faked his address just so that he could go on some anti-trans spiel at a school board. So what he did is, he's been like going nuts over this Virginia school because they're talking about trans people and humanizing trans people. And Matt Walsh, of course, whether he believes it or not, doesn't really matter. He's paid to be against it. So he is up in arms about it, of course. Trans people being treated like human is not something that Matt Walsh is going to stand for. And he's certainly not going to be quiet while something like that actually takes place in a school somewhere in the country, God forbid. So he's been like bitching nonstop about Loudoun County's school. And so they put a rule in place that said you're not allowed to speak at the parent school board meeting if you're not a resident of Loudoun County. I think that that's pretty reasonable, because if you're not part of Loudoun County, then why the fuck do you care? And of course, Matt Walsh took this personally because he's a little bitch baby. He cried. He shitted. He cummed. He pooped his pants. And he claimed that they did that on purpose to block him out. To keep Matt Walsh away. Oh, how horrible. Even if they did, so fucking what? You're not a resident. Fuck off, dude. Why do you care? So Matt Walsh, he schemed. He came up with a clever little plot. Like an evil villain. He rented a room from a friend of his in Loudoun County for $1. Just so that he could get a lease showing that he was actually now a Loudoun County resident. So, let's see what he said. He goes on a deranged rant. Just be prepared, okay? You prey upon impressionable children and indoctrinate them into your... You know what? Wait, let's back up. Try to imagine you're a parent. You're like, okay, yeah, trans people. I think that, this sounds reasonable. Teaching kids that trans people exist. Probably a pretty good thing to do, right? He gets up there, kablam! You prey upon impressionable children and indoctrinate them into your insane ideological cult. Projection coming from a fucking conservative. A cult which holds many fanatical views. Like a bunch of people that think the election was stolen and that COVID isn't real and the vaccine is gonna turn us into mutants. Like what? But none so deranged as the... Oh, I'm sorry. That's not as deranged, apparently, as the idea that boys are girls and girls are boys. Okay. By imposing this vile nonsense on students, to the point even of forcing young girls to share locker rooms with boys, you deprive these kids of safety and privacy, even though there have been studies literally showing that it has no increased risk of sexual assault with there being any kind of unisex bathrooms. You deprive these kids of safety and privacy and something more fundamental, which is truth. Oh my god, dude. This guy sounds like a fucking deranged person. The conservative commentator added, if education is not grounded in truth, then it is worthless. Worse, it is poison. You are poison. And then afterwards, he ran onto Fox News to crack the joke. The one and only joke that conservatives have. Apparently a joke that was thought of in 2012 was so fucking hilarious that Matt Walsh is still paid to joke about this to this day. He goes on Fox News and says, "It's a lifelong dream I have had. I decided to finally come out and live my truth as a Virginian, and it worked out this way." At one point, didn't he also say that he was like coming out as a Virginian or something? Oh, of course.
Lumi's the first deodorant of its
kind. Fuck you, people. These people are like insane. Could you imagine getting so mad about the existence of trans people that you like travel, rent a room, get a fake lease?
Crashing their next meeting? Well, they moved swiftly to ban him from attending. Nice going. Fox's chief breaking news correspondent Trace Gallagher has the full story for us. Trace.
Hey, Laura, from Davidson County, Tennessee to Loudoun County, Virginia, Matt Walsh has made it his mission to challenge school boards on everything from COVID to critical race theory. And because Walsh is a popular conservative blogger, writer, and podcaster, his message tends to both resonate and prompt debate. and the school boards don't appear to like it, which is why when Matt Walsh said he was holding a rally in Loudoun County to protest the school board's transgender policies and then planned to speak at the meeting itself, the board pushed back, changing the meeting time to conflict with the rally. And when Walsh simply readjusted the time of the rally, the school board came back with a rule change saying only Loudoun County residents and business owners would be allowed to speak.
So, trying to keep a deranged, frothing bigot who is paid to spew bigotry out of your school board meeting when he's not even a resident seems completely fair to me. So even if this was actually done specifically against him, fuck you, Matt. How do you feel? Maybe Matt's getting just a teeny little taste of the kind of discrimination that trans people feel all the time, partially because of rhetoric that Matt Walsh constantly spews. How does it feel, Matt? Hopefully it stings.
Saying, quoting here, the school board is making these changes in order to ensure that the voices of our parents and the LCPS community are heard rather than out-of-town agitators who would make board meetings a platform for national politics or to enhance their own media profiles.
This is exactly what happened. This is hysterical. Literally. He shows up here. He shows up, not a member of the community. People are not able to have their side heard or anything now because he's there. He's an agitator who's now getting more national media coverage and enhancing their own media profile. This is literally... Dude, they called it.
Would make board meetings a
This is such
platform
a
for national
self-own.
politics or to enhance their own media profiles. So in the spirit of, if you can't beat them, join them, Walsh decided to lease a Loudoun County property. And tonight he
Could you
was
imagine
allowed
the
to
boomers?
speak
Oh.
for 60 seconds.
How so
Here's part of
rude.
it.
You are all child abusers. You prey upon impressionable children and indoctrinate them into your insane ideological cult, a cult which holds many fanatical views, but none so deranged as the idea that boys are girls and girls are boys. By imposing this vile nonsense on students to the point even of forcing young girls to share locker rooms with boys, you deprive these kids of safety and privacy and something more fundamental too, which is truth.
Yeah, some parents did not believe Matt Walsh should have been allowed to speak, but others, including a teacher, said he should have because policies that harm children have got to stop. Laura.
Trace.
So, of course, the idea that policies teaching about trans people hurt children is bullshit. This is like the oldest one in the book. The like, think of the children type thing. That, of course, is complete bullshit. It's mainly just conservative, deranged cunts like Matt Walsh frothing at the mouth at the fact that trans people exist and the world is progressing past his Neanderthal concept of this world. Sorry, Matt.
Thank you. And joining me now is Matt Walsh, newly minted resident of Loudoun County, Virginia, host of the Matt Walsh Show. Matt, welcome to Virginia. Now, I'm sure the school board was very pleased virtually. It looks like there was not a lot of people there, right, to hear about your move. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, listen, they said that they made that change to disallow non-residents, and they made it coincidentally. It had nothing to do with me. And so I just want to say for the record that I became a Loudoun County resident also coincidentally. It's a lifelong dream that I've had to be a resident of Loudoun County, and I just decided to finally, come out and live my truth as a Virginian this week. And it all just kind of worked out this way, coincidentally. I do think it's interesting that the school board said that they just want to hear from parents. They want to give parents a chance to have their voices heard. Well, really? Because before I showed up, they were giving parents 60 seconds. So if you want to hear from people, if you want to hear their point...
60 seconds? What? How is this a contradiction? Oh my god. Well, they were only letting them talk for a minute. They said they want to let parents talk. Do you think a minute is enough time to talk? I don't know about that. All right, Matt. Thanks for coming on the fucking Fox News. Your 60 seconds is up now. Thank you.
Point of view, then it's just a strange strategy to let them speak for 60 seconds and then sound a buzzer and cut the mic off.
Hey, Leon Collins, can you get in the Discord, buddy? Thick beard, deep voice, traditional values. Now I see why Hunter hates him.
Because that's what they do in Loudoun County. That's how they communicate how much they want to hear from the parents in Loudoun County.
Yeah, they do not want any opposition. They don't want to hear from you. They don't care what parents think. They certainly don't care what more traditional Americans think.
What? Again, this is like the typical conservative thing. Do something dumb and then just start lying afterwards. They don't want to hear what parents think. Then why were they having a parent conference meeting where parents could go to talk? And you interrupted it when you don't even have a kid in the school. You literally took time away and attention away from parents that might have actually had a well-meaning intention or well-meaning intentions to discuss whatever matter. And then instead some clown comes up and starts babbling some incoherent ramblings like an AI that scanned 4chan and pumped out a conservative drone.
They want to run the show and they just want you to shut up and listen. Right there?
Yep.
They don't want that.
Then why do they have
That's exactly it. And I think it's also because they know that their policies are indefensible. They can't actually sit there and certainly have any kind of exchange. They can't risk allowing anyone to stand there and make a longer, more considered argument against these sorts of policies because it is indefensible. And all they're doing is they're indoctrinating kids into their fanatical religious cult, and they're not interested in having any kind of debate about that. And
let's see. Where is... What's the average age on... Hold on. What's the average age of Daily Wire? Did they tell you? Oh, come on, man. Where's the fucking age? Audience? I guess they don't tell the average age of the Daily Wire reader. Hold on. Because if it's younger people, then that's going to be the fucking hilarious cell phone. Huh. This looks like the only thing I have, and I don't see anything by age demographics here. You'd think it'd be under audience. Oh well. Either way. Okay, Matt.
And that's pretty clear.
There was a debate tonight, though, Matt, coincidentally, the final Virginia governor's debate. And Democrat Terry McAuliffe, he made it clear, I think, who he thinks of parents getting involved in the kids' curriculum. Watch.
I don't think parents should be telling schools what they should teach. I get really tired of everybody running down teachers. I love our teachers. And what they have done through COVID, these are real heroes that deserve our respect.
Matt, that's what they said about the healthcare workers until they fired them for not getting the vaccine. It's like they always trot out the teachers when it's convenient.
Yeah, the real hero teacher.
Point to this hypocrisy. Haha, they said the nurses were heroes, and then they put everyone else in danger so they weren't able to work anymore. Hypocrisy. Lol.
Who, many of them didn't even want to show up to work for a year and a half. I guess
I
mean, it's understandable. You don't want to go to work. I don't know if it's heroic.
Okay, I'm going to just say this. We're going to end this shit, okay? If you take Laura Ingraham or Matt Walsh seriously at all, you legitimately might have brain worms. And you definitely should be institutionalized. At the very least, have someone at your house. You need a caretaker there. You don't have the mental capacity to function in your day-to-day life if you watch this and think any of this drivel is some kind of a solid, coherent point. most likely you should be put in a retirement home where you can be taken care of for the rest of your life. And probably no TV privileges either, to save your remaining brain cells from burning out from consuming bullshit like this. And we'll leave it at that, okay? All right. Israel, what's up? You said you wanted to talk.
Yeah, I do want to talk. What's up, man? What's up?
Sorry, it sounded loud there for a second.
Yeah, so there's my phone.
Yeah, going good, man. So, what you want to fight about? Conspiracy theories being valid.
Yeah. I mean, like, not all conspiracy theories, obviously, right? But what I'm talking about is, like, I don't understand your bitter hatred for conspiracy theories, just in total, and like I just don't understand. You there?
Sorry, yeah, I was finishing up my coffee.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, what kind of conspiracy theories do you believe?
Well, I mean, I'm just trying to talk about the creation of the word conspiracy theory. Do you know where that's from?
No.
It's from the CIA.
Okay.
Just as a word to just like disenfranchise any kind of conspiracy or any kind of like talking point that has to do anything counter the government. And you're using it the exact same way that the CIA intended it to be used.
Wait. Hold on, wait. There's a conspiracy theory that the CIA invented.
It's not a conspiracy
theory.
No, okay, so they used the word conspiracy theory. They created it after JFK, JFK assassination.
I'm reading it verbatim right here on this thing. Those who question the official version of John F. Kennedy. There are even two versions.
I also wanted to talk about abortion, but you didn't want to test your consistency with abortion. But that's fair. You don't want to talk about it much, but
so
I mean, you could
Okay, wait, stop.
What's up?
As a search on Google Books quickly reveals, the term conspiracy theory emerged around 1870 and began to be more frequently used during the 1950s. Even diehard conspiracy theorists have a hard time trying to ignore this.
Okay, yeah, so if it was created, but the CIA told media companies to use the word conspiracy theory, I'll concede that it wasn't created then. But they, listen, bro.
This is why I'm bitter towards conspiracy theories. Wait, can I tell you this is why I'm bitter towards conspiracy theories?
Sure.
Because I'm bitter towards stupidity. And every time it's a conspiracy theory conversation, it's like painfully stupid. It's like I'm talking to a brick wall. Like even this thing, you just came on here, told me something as if it was a fact. I Google it. The first thing that came up explained it was false.
Okay.
That makes me mad.
Okay, I'll take that. Listen, I'll take that. But what the main point I was making was that the CIA told media companies to use the word conspiracy theory in order just like a blanket, like disenfranchise. It's like how the conservatives thought that the liberals said that's racist, as in order to just stifle debate. Right,
so even if
and you're using it the same way.
Even if they,
but my
no,
point
I'm
is
not.
that
wait, stop. I'm not using it the
same
same way. I'm not just blanketly labeling things conspiracy
theories. You do that
theories.
all the time, man. You do that all the time. I see
call
you on
things that are conspiracy theories. But
you don't understand. You don't see the connection there.
No.
You just said I call conspiracy theories.
Yes.
You're not going in like the valid point of what a conspiracy theory is.
All right, which conspiracy theory? What have I called a conspiracy theory that's not?
I can't go through my entire memories to figure out, but it's happened before, right? It's happened before where you're just talking blanketly and you just say, "Oh, it's conspiracy theory. I don't even want to discuss it."
Because
you've done that
probably
before.
Probably because it was. What you can't even
sure,
point me to a single example. COVID vaccine stuff.
No, I'm not talking about COVID vaccine stuff, dude. You've done it before COVID vaccine. Even during like your whole video with like COVID with conspiracy theories and shit like that. That's when you started talking about it on your streams. It's on your streams. I can't.
Yeah, because they're conspiracy theorists, though.
Sure. Then what about people saying that like Jeffrey Epstein is a conspiracy theory, right? Or the Catholic Church was a conspiracy theory, right? When people talked about that, people would just blankly say, "Oh, that's conspiracy theory."
Well,
that's conspiracy theory.
I don't know enough about that, but a good example of
something because you don't want to do the research, bud.
No. Okay, go ahead. What's it called?
Go down the rabbit hole, bud.
Go ahead. Tell me what it's called.
Take the red pill.
Catholic Church.
The Catholic Church being pedophiles. I mean, if you want to take the position that they weren't pedophiles, then you could take that position. But
So, okay, this is I don't even need to look into this any further because I can already tell why how this is wrong. Just because some things have been wrongly called conspiracy theories doesn't mean it's wrong to call things that are actually conspiracy theories. Does that make sense?
I do understand what you're saying. You're saying that. Let me just say, if I'm mischaracterizing what you're saying, then that's fine. What my problem with what you're saying, right, is that you can just say something's a conspiracy theory, and when it's proven right, you just like, oh, oopsie.
Like what?
You know what I mean? Like Jeffrey Epstein.
How about I'm surprised you didn't bring up the China thing, the
What
lab
China
leak
thing?
thing, because conspiracy
leak?
theorists always bring that one up.
Oh, you could say that too. I'm not.
But that's a
I'm
really
not
good
sure
example,
about that.
actually, because I
I'm
think
not
that
very
would,
sure about that though.
Well, that's what I
know
am
the
sure
industry
about, and
details.
it actually kind of would look to prove your point, but it actually proves mine at the end of the day. So,
Well, I never brought that point up, so you could just.
well,
you don't
I'm
need
just
to
going to
talk about
explain
that.
it to you anyway, because
That's
people
fine.
said, well, it came from China, it came from China, it came from a lab, and they were called conspiracy theorists at the time, and then now, later, it's been shown that there might be some evidence to support that claim.
Dr. Fauci with gain of function.
Right. And so conspiracy theorists were really excited about that. They were like, look, we said it and then now it's true. No one listened to us. Haha. But like, I would still laugh at those people because then you're just post hoc justifying, right? Because then you're just throwing a
Not
bunch
really.
of, yeah, you're throwing a bunch of bullshit at the wall and then one of them kind of might stick. And then all of a sudden you're like, look, I was
Well,
right.
I mean, it's more so that a lot of these conspiracy theories that people are talking about are never going to be. It's kind of like a weird argument because it's like these conspiracy theories would never be validated because it would just destroy our society, right? So if you go to the
conspiracy theory?
let's for example, right? I'm not saying this conspiracy theory is true, but let's say like Alex Jones, like there's interdimensional pedophiles and they're putting chemicals in the water. If that was able to be proven correct, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our entire society would have such a shock that it would crumble, right? So they would never, as in like media or like the CIA or like the government would never release something like that because it would be so damaging, right? You know what Operation Northwoods is?
No. I guess
You
I
know,
haven't done
you
enough
should-
of my own research yet.
Yeah, so Operation you need to take the red pill, bro.
I'm not really too interested. Like I'm sure that there
Okay,
are
but you
some
should be interested in this.
conspiracies that
Operation
exist, but
Northwoods
usually-
was a
Wait.
released CIA document
buddy, I don't
saying
really
that they
care
were
that
going
much.
to
I
go
know
in
that-
this, but this is important.
No,
this is
because
important.
I know that there are some conspiracies, but
It's
it
not a
sounds like
conspiracy, bro. It's a fucking CIA document that was released that's proven to be
okay.
true.
I'm sorry. When I say conspiracy, I meant that. Okay, so there can be a real conspiracy. There's
So
a
what if you
conspiracy
found out?
theory.
What if you found
So
out
I'm
that
not
the government
denying
made a
that there has
plan
not. There
to
have been
shoot up schools? What would you do if they came up with a plan? The government came up with a plan to shoot up schools, bomb military bases, kill people, innocent civilians. What would you do if that was released and that was proven
Why
that the
don't you
government
tell
came
me
up
what
with
was
that
the
plan?
motive behind it?
It was so that they can invade Cuba, but they were gonna kill innocent Americans. What's up, bro? All right, my shit's here.
Okay.
Yeah.
It-
Sorry,
There's some
someone was at the
There's
door.
definitely been conspiracies that are real and that have happened before within the U.S. government and across the board. Absolutely. But again, the things that I have called conspiracy theories, you're claiming I'm just blanketly labeling everything a conspiracy theory.
My point.
I call things that are conspiracy theories like the COVID's not real or the vaccine is dangerous or the vaccine's
COVID's
going to
hologram.
kill me or shit like that.
Yeah. Okay, I do. I give that some credence. I'm like, okay, sure, right? But my biggest point is just the bitter hatred for conspiracy theorists, just because they get some stuff wrong. Like you get stupid people who believe that the vaccine is a microchip and they're all gonna fucking turn on the.
I don't actually have like a
button.
bitter hatred for like.
I think
general
you do.
No, I don't.
I
like,
think you do.
I
Yeah.
I have even talked about like that. I think that like there's probably some weird shit that happened with 9/11. But I have an issue with conspiracy theorists, particularly in regards to the vaccine, COVID, and really any kind of conspiracy that's one, proven false, and two, actually harming society. So
then do you
dipshits that have
also-
conspiracy
wait,
theories about the vaccine, they hurt people. Dipshits that have conspiracy theories about election fraud, that hurts people. You see what I mean?
Okay. I do see what you're saying, but my point, my total point is that if people, it gets to a point where they get so down the rabbit hole where you even said that 9/11, right? You think there's some weird shit with 9/11. If the government was willing to blow up three buildings, building
I don't
7,
know if that's
plus,
really what the government did, though.
but let's just because you even said there's some weird stuff happening. If you give that a little bit of, okay, sure, what if? Because Operation Northwoods was basically a plan just like that, to shoot up movie theaters, shoot up schools, bomb military bases, right? It was a released document where JFK didn't sign it, because they went all the way to the chiefs of staff and it was at JFK's desk, and if he signed it, it would have been passed, but he didn't sign it, right? So all these people in the government was like, okay, sure, okay, and then JFK said no. He died a little while after that, but whatever. So if that was real, where they were willing to kill innocent civilians for them to push their
so this never
ideology,
actually
whatever,
happened then, right?
but they were willing to. The only thing that stopped it was one man who stopped it, and he died later.
But he came out about it. See, this is
no,
again
it came out way after. It didn't come out when he declined it. I don't remember when it came out specifically, but it didn't come out for a while. And it come out, and it only came out with the Freedom of
this kind of just
Information
goes
Act.
back to what I said. Like, I've never said that there is no such thing as a conspiracy, and that there have never been like bad conspiracies in the past that have been true. I never denied this. It's mainly because, like, to be honest, I'm not familiar with this, and this does sound pretty fucking bad. But again, like, I don't think that this is any kind of contradiction, because I don't actually have bitter hatred towards just conspiracy theories in general. I have more of a bitter hatred, again, towards
specific conspiracy
theories, particularly the ones that are most relevant in the current political sphere that actually do bad shit. Like, again, the election fraud stuff and the COVID stuff.
So what about stuff like, but I feel like that is a cop-out. Not saying that you're saying it's a cop-out, but like media, right? Like the mainstream media uses that as a cop-out in order to just say like, oh, these are conspiracies. I am shifting my talking about here.
Some
They're
people
saying,
can use them as a
like
shield and a way to just write it off. Just like you could use the term racist, right? So like you could say you're racist and then not talk to the person. That would be a poor argument and dumb. But just if some people do that doesn't mean just if some people do that doesn't mean that that you can never call someone racist if they're actually being racist.
Or conspiracy theory, just because they're being conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Or conspiracy. Yeah.
Just because just because the term's been misappropriated or unfairly labeled at times or unfairly used at times doesn't mean that you're never allowed to actually call something a conspiracy theory. And I'm sorry, but the idea that like Fauci is orchestrating COVID in order to do the vaccine or whatever, that is absolutely a conspiracy theory. It is by definition one.
But I would say that the U.S. government benefits from COVID being a thing.
How?
Because their powers have increased tenfold.
This is what I never understand is, doesn't the U.S. government like benefit from a good economy?
I think they benefit more from widespread fear and the ability just to get people to fucking shoot something up in their arm.
But why? This is what I don't understand.
It's
so
power,
let's go down this.
it's
Let's
power.
go. Okay, let's go down this rabbit trail for a second.
Sure.
So maybe you're right. Maybe this increases power or whatever. What power has been increased?
I would say the ability to strip rights, lock people into their homes in a whim.
But how is this helping the government? Because
it has fear, and they're able to push whatever kind of spending bills. They're able to bundle up a bunch of shit and be able to pass it in the guise of like, this is to help COVID. It's because a lot of people are stupid, me included. I'm pretty dumb, right? A lot of people are really stupid, and they much rather take safety over freedom. So when they take safety over freedom, the government slowly increases.
People didn't really choose this, even, right? Like the
No, they
state
allowed it
has
to happen.
The
They
state,
allowed it to happen.
So the state has the right, even like constitutionally, the state has the right to implement safety measures in the safety of public health. The federal government, you might be able to argue that the mandate that Biden's using might be an overreach. Like I said, I've said before that that's a bit of a gray area, although I do ultimately agree with it. A lot of these businesses being shut down and lockdowns and everything else have been carried out via the state, which is, again, completely within the rights of the state to do. So I'm not really sure how this would be increasing the government's power. I feel like
because now they're in an area where they're able to.
But they pass spending bills all the fucking time. Like you said, people aren't really, they're kind of dumb. No one really tunes in that much with like every spending bill. They don't really care that much. They could pass it anyway just because most American people are kind of ignorant or busy with their own days. So
then what do you see about
how is COVID?
You know what's happening in Australia?
What's happening in Australia?
Australia with the COVID vaccine mandate.
It's my understanding that the app track. Are you talking about the app tracking thing?
App tracking. They also have military people arresting people.
I'm pretty sure it's voluntary. That app.
I'm not saying specifically the app. I didn't really know what you're saying. I just agreed. I don't know specifically about the app, but I do know that the military stays outside people's houses, tell you to take photos of your house, make sure you're there. They have a lot of like.
I don't know. Some of them might
camps.
be. So maybe the Australian government is trying to increase their power or something, but I don't live in Australia, so I don't really know. But
far away
the US,
from that.
How these are like the lockdowns you referenced were done usually by the state, right?
The state is still the government.
Yes, but it's not the federal government. So like, where's the government? So it's a plan to let the state governments increase their power?
The government in total.
Because that doesn't make sense at all. You realize that the states absolutely benefit from a beneficial economy, and property tax and not property tax, sorry, but every time you purchase goods, right? They benefit from those taxes raised. So shutting down their economy would arguably give them less power, not more.
I'm not saying specifically just the lockdowns. I'm saying like the majority of it is the ability to scare a population into just becoming complacent.
What if we become
to whatever they want? To do whatever they want. I mean, it was 2 weeks to curb the spread. Now it's get 2 shots, now booster shots, and you're doing all this shit where they're able to have.
Plan was to get us all locked in and get vaccinated. That was the
I'm not
big overreach.
Okay, you're like mistaking what I'm saying. I'm saying that the government now they have the precedent, or now they have like if you want to say the bad actors in the government now have the information to see how far a population will go.
No, so this is bizarre. This is I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say the C word.
No, dude, don't do it.
This is fucking bullshit, dude. Come on, man. Really?
You wouldn't say that there are people who now benefit. You don't think that the government, their power has benefit from COVID?
How?
That their
Tell me how. In what way? They've already everything they've done has been already had the precedent there. Everything that's been done, even with the way the states did the lockdowns. I keep going back to that because that's even in the Constitution. Like, nothing increased the government power. They just used power that was already there.
That's not true. They had to enact that power through like some kind of virus or like some kind of like pandemic or whatever.
So you see why this sounds like a conspiracy theory now, right?
No, I'm saying
so they've set out the virus so that they could then increase their.
I'm not saying they made the virus. I'm saying that they're benefiting from it, and they're trying to. They needed to stay into the public sector.
But how are they benefiting from it? How are they benefiting from it? Like, you realize through COVID coming out, the changing of the information and everything, like, people have actually lost trust in the CDC, arguably. They've lost trust in certain aspects
I'm not saying CDC.
But it's a government agency, part of the government. Like, where have
I'm not saying I'm not saying like the post office is this huge fucking like hub of like, you know what I mean? You're just like nitpicking. I'm saying that bad actors in the government, big people in the government, the same people who are running around with Jeffrey Epstein and doing all that shit, like
Can you give
These
me any
people
example?
exist, dude.
Can you give me an example?
Specifically?
Like anyone, or just how this would help the government increase their power, or anything?
It has increased their power.
But how? You still haven't told me. Like
I said it like
wouldn't their
I said
power
it
be
multiple
increased via
times.
taxation? Wouldn't taxation help increase their power hypothetically? Like
Not really, because they can have all the money in the world. They just can't take away people's freedom of travel. Now they're able to. They're putting not vaccine mandates.
a lot
Fuck,
of
what's
that's
it
private
called?
businesses though. But shutting down again, so even
Oh,
shutting down
passports. There you go, vaccine passports.
so even shutting down travel for the sake of public health, it's my understanding that this is completely within the rights of the U.S. government. So this is not any kind of like new power being introduced.
But it's like
here.
saying, but listen, bro, you're saying it would be comparable. It means you're saying, oh, the government enacted martial law and now they're locking everyone in their homes and doing all this shit. But they already had that power of martial law, so it's not a big deal. It's not a big problem. It's
So
like they're
now
enacting
do you
this
understand?
power
So
through-
hold on. Do you understand now why I get really mad at conspiracy theorists? Because you're going off on this weird fucking rant, kind of a tangent more or less, about how the government's like getting all this extra power and they're benefiting from COVID. Even if the government is like you haven't even told me how they've benefited from COVID.
Dude, oh my God, I've said this like so many times already. The government is benefiting from COVID because now the people of America are now complacent to whatever the government says. So the government says for you to do something, now you do it.
This isn't
You have to do it
true
now.
because the
It is
trust
true.
in the government has declined because of COVID.
Because people aren't taking it, but now a huge portion, like you and your followers, and a lot of people who agree with you, like politically, I would say, I don't want to put any names out there, but a lot of people who agree with you politically are now like, I don't know, they're like actors for the government. So if you don't have the vaccine, they like bully you into getting it, right? If you don't wear a mask,
see, the
they
thing
bully
is
you
I
into
bully
doing it.
people. I bully anti-vaxxers and people that don't get the vaccine because I think they're dumb. That's not for any. There's nothing there. There's no conspiracy there, my friend. I just think they're painfully stupid and have no good reason not to get it. Kind of
But
like
I'm not saying you're doing it subconsciously. I'm saying you're doing it subconsciously.
it's just this conversation is this.
You're being
We're
programmed.
gonna yeah. I'm
You're
being
programmed, and all of your dude. You don't think that
Dude, this is why just shut the fuck up.
Bro?
This is why I can't take people like you seriously
You're a
anymore.
fucking retard.
Yeah. Because why? Am I programmed? Am I too
You're programmed.
I am an
man.
android. I have been sent here by the government.
Dude, that's so cringy.
Dude, I drank. Did you hear? I drank some water, and I think it turned me gay. It's really weird, man.
The water's gay.
Holy
Did you get
shit,
drunk
bro.
tap water?
I don't know what's
Tap
gonna
water?
happen, man.
Dude,
I don't know.
drink tap water, man.
Or maybe it was just that I was hanging out with
That's
you too
atrazine,
long,
bro.
and then all of a sudden, like that's why I fucking.
Is there a problem with being gay though?
But either way,
I mean,
no,
damn, it's
there's
pretty
not a problem with
homophobic,
being
dude.
gay.
That's
It's just
pretty
there's a problem with
homophobic,
being.
man.
Yeah,
That's
oh
pretty
yeah,
homophobic,
yep.
dude.
No, it's just mainly there's a problem with like.
No, because you just said, oh, I'm in hanging out with you, bro. I said that's a bad
It's
thing,
mainly
bro.
a problem with. Okay, well let me. Okay, go
It's
ahead.
wrong
Fine.
being
You know,
gay, bro.
buddy, have we
Come on,
talked
bro.
before? You sound familiar.
When?
You sound like
Did
this
I ask?
other guy I talk about. I don't know. But either way, this is why I don't take conspiracy theorists
Yeah, bro.
seriously. It's because they're usually fucking idiots like you. And they come
Dude,
on
I'm
here and
just
they start
fucking
spreading
trolling out here,
nonsense.
dude. I'm just fucking trolling.
Oh, you're
You can't
trolling?
fucking
Really?
take it.
That's it?
Yeah, bro.
Oh, wow, you're
I
trolling.
mean-
So this whole conversation you were trolling?
No, in the beginning I wasn't trolling. Now I'm just fucking trolling because it's funny. Because you're all your fans are fucking cringe, and you're fucking cringe too.
Okay, yep. I guess
Oh, man, I was
it's
next
because
to
I'm
you
the
and I-
hunteroid, right? Because I've
I was
I've
next
been
to you and I
conditioned in the
like, bro, you're
lockdown, dude.
cringe,
Dude, I've
you're
been
so-
conditioned in the lockdown. I can't wait to get my
Yeah, you're
COVID pill.
conditioned, bro.
Holy shit, dude! Are you gonna take your COVID
your
pill?
COVID phone? They're gonna give you a government mandated phone.
This
and
is
you're
just
gonna
so fucking. It's just
gonna download
embarrassing,
terabytes of
dude. Like,
porn on your phone.
what this is at the end of the day is you don't like the fact that we're in the middle of a pandemic, and I totally understand that.
What
and
the point
it's
is
also
like,
very
you don't
hold on,
understand the fact
excuse
you're
me,
getting
sir.
trolled and
Excuse
you're
me,
taking it
sir.
so
It's also
seriously.
very, very challenging for people during health crises like this to cope with that, and oftentimes people turn to conspiracy theories to try and help themselves make sense of complicated situations, and I think that might be what you're doing right now. So maybe you can form a
Hey,
new
Paul,
conspiracy
am I
theory,
programmed?
like.
Am I programmed?
No, I think that. Well, what I think you should do
Holy
is,
shit,
is
I might be
form a new
programmed.
conspiracy theory in which where you won this debate and successfully trolled me. Does that sound like a good deal?
I
'Cause it
think
does to me.
successfully trolling
I'll
because
send
you're
you a
fucking
tinfoil hat, and
livid.
you
You're
just have a good
fucking
rest of your day. All right?
livid.
Yeah,
You're
no,
so
I'm livid
pissed,
because I'm
bro.
bitter at you fucks. All right.
'Cause
This
you're
entire
fucking
conversation
pissed,
has been
bro.
brain
You're
rape.
fucking pissed.
No, this
I
entire
just
convo has
trolled
been
the
ear
shit
rape.
out of
Fuck
you
you.
so hard.
He was not a troll. He's just backing up. He's backtracking like a motherfucker. Jesus. He comes on. Why are you so bitter towards conspiracy theorists? I wonder. Heavens to Betsy. Why? Ian Cron, thank you for the $5. So 211 sovereign nations in the world, all with virologists, just decide to keep mum about the virus being a bioweapon. Who knows, dude? I'm sure he has some kind of fantastical story to tell you. Ian Cron, thanks for the 5. Tammy Duckworth is a based veteran Dem senator from Illinois. Cool. Demon Doggo, thanks for the $5. Hey, Hunter, I haven't been able to participate in past streams due to personal issues. I hope you and your family are doing well. Hey, man, thank you. Well, I hope that you and your family are doing well also. No one who trolls well has to keep saying they trolled. Yeah, exactly. No, the guy was just coping at the end. All right, yeah, you can tell, what's up?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Are you here to debate?
I was just watching the stream. I didn't know I was gonna get pulled in. I apologize.
No worries, man. You here to debate?
Yeah, I guess. I like always having conversations with you. Or not with you. I've never actually talked with you before. But I've been subscribed for a while now.
Okay, what's up?
So, I do. I guess. What's your feeling about everything that's going on with possible default and everything?
Possible what?
Default on the 18th, I believe. October 18th. I just wanted to get your opinion on it, but from what I hear, there was supposed to be like an extension on the government shutdown, and then on the 18th, there was a potential default of our debt on the October 18th, and we're supposed to come back on like the 16th or something.
Oh yeah, I'll have to check that into that, man. But hey, either way, thanks for stopping by.
But thank you for at least letting me have a small time.
Zakonos, hello.
How's it going?
Going good, man. What's up? You said you wanted to talk about how to talk to your parents about conspiracy theories or something?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, like, I was listening to that last caller about, like, because he was talking about, like, all sorts of random ass conspiracy theories as well. And, like, I don't know, like, what do you think it is that makes people believe in these things? Like, is it just like a complete, like, rejection of any sort of mainstream information?
There's actually a lot of, like, I don't want to like diagnose these people because of course I don't really know at the end of the day, but there is a lot of it has to do with psychological stuff. So like, a lot of older people, for example, they never have first of all, they've never really been properly taught about like taking mental health seriously. And so a lot of the times they use conspiracies as actual coping mechanisms because they give them like a sense of control and a sense of uniqueness over the situation. That's why I brought up to the last guy. It actually is true that during major health crises, it's really common to see an uptick of conspiracies because people want to make sense of complicated situations, and a holistic story is a lot easier to believe. Like, we as humans like recognize patterns. This one thing that like humans are like very unique at specifically, and what like is part of like having a developed brain and like developed mindset is recognizing patterns. And a lot of the times through that, people recognize patterns where there might not even be any. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's like basically borderline schizophrenia, or like one of them.
It's
Like
just, yeah, it's,
some
I
symptoms
wouldn't go
of it,
that
at
far because I
least.
don't know, but it's
Maybe like one of
definitely,
the symptoms of it, at least. Or at
yeah,
least like that's like one of the common traits of mentally ill people.
kind of, yeah. And like the overall distrust of everything is pretty insane too. What kind of conspiracy theories have your family members fallen into?
Well, I have my brother is kind of like the main problem, because like
He can talk to me if he wants.
oh,
I'll
I
be
don't know,
nice to him if that would work
yeah,
better.
maybe, I don't know, maybe I should get him to do that, but yeah, he's kind of older. He's like, yeah, mid 30s, and he's like really kind of like he kind of fell down the rabbit hole back in like 2001, when like that, because like there was like, I don't know, I'm probably dating myself, but like there was this fucking movie, like I never actually saw the thing, but he always talked about it. It was called like Zeitgeist.
Mm-hmm.
And it talked about a lot, like a bunch of like 9/11 conspiracies and shit, and
Hmm.
like he's kind of like linked this into like the modern COVID shit, and like, of course it revolves around like the JQ and all sorts of
Oh, wow. So it's kind of got some
yeah,
anti-Semitism intertwined in there.
yeah, well, yeah. And
That's
like
pretty
that,
unfortunate, yeah.
well, because like we're Polish, so that's kind of like an unfortunate reality, is that like a lot of Polish people are kind of anti-Semitic, because of like they just kind of, I think they blame the Jews for what happened during World War II,
Hmm.
and like before it. It's kind of
Yeah.
messed up.
That is really fucked up. I mean, with it sounds like he's pretty deep in conspiracy
Yeah,
theories.
it's very difficult to dislodge. Like I don't know how. Like basically every single argument that I try to pose to him, every single like,
Is he
because like
pretty
every single
anti-vax?
sorry,
Is he anti-vax?
fuck.
So
Yes.
you need to pick your most important. The first thing you need to do is pick, because this guy, it sounds like he believes a fuck ton of conspiracy theories. So obviously, you're not gonna like go in there and just get him to like stop being a conspiracy theorist. But you might be able to like empathize with like the fact that there are certainly some conspiracies, and also like there's no doubt about the fact that like the government keeps stuff secret sometimes, like obviously, right? But that doesn't
Yeah.
mean that the vaccine is like, even if you think that like the American government is totally corrupt from head to toe, well then why internationally are they giving out the vaccine? Like that
I don't
doesn't really
know.
make
It's well,
sense.
basically, because at the end of the day, these people don't really like, they're basically like they don't believe anything that the mainstream media tells them. They just think that all the numbers are lies. Everything is a lie.
I mean,
They
to that
believe that
extent, that is like a disconnect from reality.
I know, it's fucking crazy. Like, and like I've even seen it in my office. Like people believe that the MMR or the mRNA vaccine like changes your DNA.
Oh, yep. I would really like to talk to your brother sometime if he ever wants to come on. I will be nice if that you think that would be a better approach.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know.
But
Like
yeah, I would just
it's hard
say
to
pick
say.
what your pick if you want advice for actually how to convince him. I honestly, that sounds like a really uphill battle, to be fair. Um, I mean that sounds
Well, like because
really
to be
uphill,
honest,
but
like generally there's like also like I think for a lot of these people they have like a lot of exterior life events that like kind of reinforce these beliefs.
well, that
Like
again, that kind of goes back to the recognizing of patterns, right? Where like you sort of start to see patterns in everything, where you kind of want to see them. Um, but I
well,
would
like
just pick like
is
your most important issue that you think is like the most important thing to convince him on, which probably would be the vaccine, is my guess.
yeah. I
Um,
mean, yeah, like convince them to get the vaccine, right?
yeah, that would be the my main focus if I were you, is leave the other conspiracies behind, just kind of don't worry about it. Let him have those for now.
But
Who
like,
cares?
see,
like if it's not hurting, then whatever. Like,
it's like a full body mental cancer, because it's like he doesn't want to get the vaccine because he doesn't believe that COVID is real. He thinks it's the flu. He thinks that that the media is lying to him.
so then why are people dying at higher rates from the COVID than the flu?
Well, then they say
The numbers
they,
are lies.
yeah, they say that the numbers are lies, or that it's just like regular flu plus regular mortality. Like yeah, it's like brainworms. Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, even someone in my chat is saying the vaccine has killed more people than it's saved, which is like bizarre.
I mean, yeah, because like millions of people have had the vaccine by now, and like people just don't really understand math, in my opinion. Like they don't
True.
really like they understand, because like he says like, oh, Norway's like lifting all restrictions, so like we should just treat COVID as the like regular flu and
You
get back
know,
to reality.
you should tell him that a lot of the reason that those restrictions are being lifted is because of the major vaccination rates.
That's exactly what I told him, but yeah, like basically like none of it sticks, because he's like, oh well, that's just a lie. That's just a Jewish number.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, see, if he came on the show, if he was saying stuff like that, I would kind of have an obligation to be a little bit mean. So maybe don't tell him to come on the show, unless maybe someone being mean to him would help. Maybe that's what's gonna maybe it's the being nice that's kind of reaffirmed him.
I don't know. He's been pretty brutal. Like, yeah, like one time I told him to like shut up, and he would yeah, like he's got that, like he's older, so like he's definitely got that like old fashioned, like hasn't really caught up to gotten yeah.
Didn't you say he's only like in his 30s?
Yeah, but like he's like really leaned into like the bigotry and shit. It's kind of like,
I mean, you're his brother, so it's your call. But yeah, I definitely can't make any promises that
I
I'd be
just
like super
because
nice
like
to
it's
someone like that. I kind of have
it's
to be a little
difficult. It's difficult because like he basically like talks to my dad, and then my dad sends me this fucking like Hill video from like Crystal Ball saying that like Bill Gates is like talking about some sort of, or that like Bill Gates's vaccine protection isn't good, and like so like it's fucking contagious, dude. Like I don't know how like yeah.
You're right. It is. I mean, I've had family members fall victim to it also. It's very common, especially in times like this. So
Yeah. Well, and like also during other like crazy world events, like you said that like you believed in some crazy shit surrounding 9/11, and like
I mean,
that was
I at one point did, but at this point, I kind of just think that like there probably was like some fishy shit going on that the government didn't tell us about, because like obviously, right?
like if you track all of the events surrounding it, and like I don't know, like
oh shit, we just got raided by Denims.
Oh, cool.
Damn, what's up, Denims? Thank you so much for the raid. I might have to turn alert box off just because you beautiful bastards all just showed up. Oh shit. Hey man, well I appreciate you coming on, and if you ever want to talk again, just let me know, all right?
All right, sounds good.
See you, man.
I'll ask you about the rural versus urban divide next time.
And ask your brother to come on. If you think that's what would help, then I will be happy to debate him.
All right, sounds good.
See you,
bye.
Man. Damn, thank you, Denims, for the raid. We just got raided by a pair of jeans. Shout out to my sponsor, the Levi's Denims, the best. No, I'm just kidding. Damn, we're getting a fuck ton of followers. I might have to turn my alerts off, but I'm also really excited to see everyone here. So, yeah, if you're watching, make sure you hit that fucking follow button. Not yet a affiliate on Twitch. We're gonna get there soon, though. We'll see. 50% cotton just rated us. I just appreciate it. This is pretty big for me. Thank you, Denims. A 400 viewer raid is pretty big as far as followers go and everything, especially for a little beginning Twitch streamer like me. Smash that follow button and subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you hit that follow button if you're watching right now. Be extra based. Only the most based people actually hit the follow button. It's really weird, but it's true. And here's the thing. If you're not sure you're based, by clicking the follow button, you become based. Isn't that dope? I hope you enjoy and have a good stream. I'm going to go get some lunch. Hey, thank you, Denims. And thanks a lot for the raid. I really appreciate that. I have been trying to get my Twitch up and running, so that really means a lot. Thank you. Enjoy your lunch. And I hope you have a good stream as well. I swear Facebook is portal to hell. That is probably true, yeah. Damn, we got 600 viewers all of a sudden over here. Shit. Thank you very much, Denims. I really appreciate the raid again. I'm going to have to turn off my alert box right now just because it's getting pretty loud and we're going to get onto a topic here. But to all the new followers, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Today we're going to be talking about purity culture and rape culture. So, unironic trigger warning. Some conservatives are probably seething at the fact I'm saying this, but we are actually going to be talking about some more mature subjects, okay? So if that's not something you're comfortable with, maybe this isn't the best video for you or the best time to tune in for the stream. But if it is, I would highly recommend tuning in because today I want to talk a little bit about how religious purity culture very often fuels rape culture. So first and foremost, what the fuck is rape culture? Because listen, I understand as a former conservative, I used to think when I heard the term rape culture that it was ridiculous. My thought process was a culture that thinks rape is good? I'm pretty sure we like arrest rapists, right? Clearly we don't think rapists are good in this culture. But rape culture is much more of a extreme and like hyperbolic definition where what it's really talking about is an overall sort of idea that like women are the ones who are responsible solely, that the onus is on the women, right? And a lot of the times this is fueled by purity culture, which teaches women that they have to save themselves for their man, as if themselves is reduced to nothing but sex. Like, maybe someone's had sex before, but they've never actually loved someone the same way that they love you. Maybe you're still seeing a unique, different part of that person. Like, just if they've had sex before doesn't mean that it's so fucking stupid. I hate it. I honestly hate it. And it's really, really harmful at the end of the day, too. But when it comes to rape culture, this sort of idea that, like, well, you know, you've heard the examples before. Boys will be boys, for example, right? And that is only further fueled by these ideas that, like, women have to cover up. Women have to be modest. Women cannot tempt the man. It's really, really creepy. So take this, for example. Carissa, my wonderful wife, posted this. A few families I grew up with sent their kids to this college. Incredible. Listen to the rules of this college. Just listen to this. Listen to the women's dress standards, okay? Dress clothes and shoes are required for all classes and religious services. Sweatshirts and denim are not considered dress clothes. If you're watching from Denim's stream, don't go anywhere, okay? We're not a religious chapel, okay? You don't have to leave, I promise. Sweatshirts and denim are not considered dress clothes. All clothing must have modest necklines. Sleeves must extend below the elbow at all times. All skirts and dresses must be modest and without slits. They should come below the knee in all positions, whether sitting or standing. Oh my God. Could you imagine you like sit down differently and like someone comes over with a fucking tape measure? They're like, I'm sorry, ma'am. Your dress is 2.3 inches away from your knee. According to the Rules of Modesty, Chapter 1, Verse number 3, Your dress must come below the knee in all positions, whether sitting or standing. And while standing, it exceeds the knee. All ladies' dresses, skirts, blouses, and tops must be loose-fitting. Okay. Hose or... Whoa! Watch the language, Christian school. We're in God's house right here. Why are you saying that? Oh, they mean like pantyhose. My bad. Hose or tights must be worn at all times. They must be non-fattish. Am I not Christian enough to understand what the fuck fattish? What is the word fattish? Intensely fashionable for... Okay, got it. Okay, I've never heard that one before. Non-fattish. You hear that? And of sufficient weight and color to avoid the appearance of bare legs. Oh, shit. Shoes are to be conservative in style with closed toes, sides, and heels. Damn! If you go to this college, not even the foot fetish guys are getting any. Holy shit! Excuse me, Mom. It's a little immodest to be showing your pinky toe that way, don't you think? Have you not read the textbook where it said that flip-flops are prohibited? Slut. Slacks, pants, suits, jewelry, makeup, or nail polish are not to be worn. No pants? What? Bitches, we going back to the 1950s over here. No jewelry. Please, my father gave me this necklace because he loves me before he went off to war. Can I please wear it? Never, you whore! Makeup or nail polish are not to be worn. Dude, God forbid, man. Could you imagine what would happen if a man saw a woman with purple fingernails? Oh, wait. That's not the end of it. I thought that was the end of it. My bad. There's another page of the fashionable Christian woman Bible. The wearing of any type of men's garments is not permitted. So like a hoodie? Wristwatches must not give the appearance of a bracelet. It better have a big-ass fucking clock right there, all right? I should hear that bitch ticking. Or else it might look like jewelry and someone pops a boner. Next thing we know, purity culture has been violated. Ladies are not to leave their rooms without sufficient clothing. All ladies may not have bangs or cut and trim their hair during the school year, as well as during vacation periods. I wish I could get a haircut, but bobs are prohibited in my school because I'd have bangs. Dude, I think the dude that wrote this banged his head against the wall like several times. Oh, wait, hold on. It gets worse. Not only are you not allowed to get a haircut if you go here, so help me God, or else the uncontrollable apes, the men, may begin to lust after you. All ladies must also refrain from styling their eyebrows. That's right. Ladies, you hear that? You want to honor God? You better have a fucking unibrow, okay? Don't you trim those suckers. They should look like my eyebrows, but worse. I'm talking 2 dead, fluffy caterpillars stuck to your face. And if you dare take even a single razor to it, shame on you, blaspheming God. All ladies must wear their hair up neatly and simply. You hear that? Pigtails? Oh, whoa. It's a little flashy, don't you think? Why don't you put it up in a single pom-pom, honey? All right? God is in the house. Be respectful. But also, at least they're fair. There's also some men's dress standards as well. Dress shirts and slacks are still not acceptable. Not even for us guys. Come on, man. Dress shoes and neckties. Okay, whatever. Sleeves must extend well below the elbow and shirt tails must be tucked into the trousers. All fellows' shirts and pants must be loose-fitting. I like how they have like 3 pages for the women. They're like, you must never shave. You must never get a haircut. And if you are to seek a haircut, you will ask the priest, not the local haircuttery. And then when it comes to the men, they're like, yeah, you know, just tuck in your shirt, boys. Wear a tie. Don't wear a hat. All male students must be clean shaven at all times. Wait, so the women can't shave their eyebrows, but men must shave? Sideburns must not extend. Holy shit, boys. You hear this? You go here. Do you like your sideburns? Think again. This ain't prison, son. This is Christian college. Brand restrictions. They don't allow students to wear brands and stores that show antagonism to Christian values and an unusual display of wickedness in their promotions. What? Okay. And then it gets worse. There's also rules for how you can date on here, too. All physical contact is strictly forbidden. Teacher, Samantha handed me my homework and her hand touched my hand. Teacher, something weird is happening in my pants. Couples may not be in any room alone. Never. Couples should not pair off while on singing trips? Is this like a music school? Unless there is permission from the chaperone. Couples are not permitted to sit together in classes. Hey, teacher, we're dating. Excuse me? Well, then you can move to the one side of the room and she can move to the other. Actually, I'm dating a guy. Couples are permitted to sit together at one special service a day. Hey, you sat together at chapel. You're not allowed to sit together again during Wednesday prayer nights. And then let's say maybe you're sick and tired of all these rules in the chaperone. So you know what? You're like, you know what? I'm going to just get married. Because fuck it. Engagement. Under normal circumstances, a couple must have dated for a minimum of 6 months before announcing an engagement. What does that mean? Teacher, Dean, please, can I post this on my Facebook? Please. I just want to switch my status away from single, finally. It's been 5 months and 3 days. Wait for the 6th. If an engaged couple dissolves their relationship, there is a 3-month waiting period before they can begin dating another individual. It goes on? No, no more. Incoming students may not date for their first 6 weeks of school. A couple who's been dating consistently for at least 3 months prior to registration is to meet with the dean of students for exemptions. Oh my God. No dating privileges will be given to divorced persons. I love that one. So my husband repeatedly raped and beat me, but thankfully I was able to divorce him, and now I'm here so that I can heal in the presence of God Almighty. There's a really nice man. Could I go out with him? Never, you sinful heathen! So, I have some interesting articles here, particularly this study, which shows how this idea of purity culture very much plays a role in rape culture as well. But you know what? Before I get into that, I want to first talk about this. So, let's see. And yet when sexual abuse or assault committed by a religious leader or not is reported by a woman within the context of the church, the survivor is often blamed. Say Joy and pash, for her looks, for her sexuality, for her purported lack of modesty. At the root of this warped belief system is a phenomenon called purity culture. And this actually checks out with the data right here, which shows 99 Christian men and women participated in this study. Results demonstrated that endorsement of purity culture was related to increased endorsement of rape myths and increased likelihood of labeling marital rape and acquaintance rape as consensual sex. Intrinsic religiosity was also found to be a significant moderator of the relationship between purity culture and rape myth acceptance. So this idea that women are the pure ones and you are only pure defined by your virginity, that hammered in with the fact that oftentimes in religious circles, there is a lack of education, sex education. All they're ever taught is be pure, be pure, be pure, repress it, repress it, repress it. That if someone is to be taken advantage of, they don't even know what the fuck is happening at that point. They've only ever been told, repress it. So when someone comes along and takes advantage of them, that purity culture is able to almost be weaponized against the victim. It only allows for mandatory abstinence or sex within a heterosexual marriage, or else God will be mad, or else no one will want to marry you, or else you'll get pregnant and put yourself at risk of going to hell. Combine that line of thinking with a general absence of sexual education and a widespread emphasis on male leadership energized by female submission, and purity culture becomes the foundation that rape culture is built on. You have these sexual rules that are very strict, and young people who are very uninformed about their bodies or what it means to make conscious sexual decisions, they're told to repress it. And then someone takes advantage of you and you don't even know what consent is. And you can see there's statistics showing that throughout religious circles, not just Christian circles, but religious circles in general, there have been massive amounts of sexual abuse that have been exposed and revealed. It really does seem that rape culture and this idea of purity culture are intertwined, especially since purity culture is taught in a way that tells women that men are the leaders. You have to save yourself for men. You follow the men. The women submit. They're quiet. They obey their husbands. So this girl talks about how in 2019 she was drugged and taken advantage of. Though the assault didn't take place within the physical confines of the church, she believes evangelical purity culture played a major role. I grew up being taught wildly misinterpreted scripture like, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Purity culture compelled me to ignore my intuition, which was sending me warning signals early on in the date. I automatically assumed that whatever men want is correct. Now, you might be able to call this person a little bit ignorant, and it does sound a little bit ignorant, but at the same time, when all your life you have been hammered in these kind of ideas, you've been brainwashed by religious bullshit, this is the sad reality for many individuals. It's terrible, but it is true. It's just really quite disgusting at the end of the day. I understand the idea of abstaining and saving yourself for marriage, and I actually think there's a good argument to be made that you should wait for marriage to have sex. But if you don't, it doesn't mean you're damaged. It doesn't mean that you're worthless. It doesn't mean you're a slut. It doesn't mean that God is displeased. It doesn't mean that you've lost yourself, because yourself is not tied to whether or not you're a virgin. That is bullshit, and that idea is so harmful. It absolutely is. And so, with that, we're going to go over some of these purity balls, okay? Prepare to cringe yo ass off. My life inside the purity movement. Oh boy. This is gonna be great. I'm sure.
Purity ball. It's like a symbol to tell everybody I make a promise to myself and to God that I will stay pure until I get married.
See, okay, already, stay pure until I get married. If you've had sex, it doesn't mean that you're not pure. It doesn't defile you. Like, that even alone just reinforces really bad ideas that if someone is taken advantage of, let's say a girl all her life has been taught that you are pure because you're a virgin, and then she's taken advantage of, raped, then what? Well, now all of a sudden she feels like she's not pure anymore. Does she even want to tell anyone? Should she be ashamed? There have literally been stories I read in these articles here that I just referenced about individuals trying to tell other members of their church about rapes and assaults that took place, and they were asked what they were wearing and if they were acting flirtatious or if they didn't tell them no or whatever. They were instantly blamed. It happens all the time.
The Bible says that
let
sex
the marriage bed be undefiled, for God will judge the sexually immoral and adulterous. This sounds like people who So a couple things. One, Old Testament, kind of weird. Two, I hate that I have to even reference a 3,000-year-old book of fucking fables in modern day. I hate that it's current year, and I have to say, no, this 4,000-year-old ancient book of fairy tales and fables doesn't actually mean that you can't have sex until marriage, and if you do, you're gonna go to hell. Let the marriage bed be undefiled. Let's look at the context here. In Hebrews, STDs were way more common. It made sense at the time to actually be, quote unquote, undefiled by like an STD or a disease. Second of all, when they're talking about sexual immorality, even right here, they're talking about adulterers. People that cheat on their husbands and their wives. They're not talking about people that just engage in sex before they're married. Holy.
marriage is a sin, and I believe that.
Blessed are the pure in heart. Heart!
Purity ball.
Not pure in genitals.
Cherish a father-daughter experience.
Choosing to be abstinent is the only way to avoid an STD. Is masturbation a sin? Yes. Homosexuality is sin. It's just sin. I believe in the power of God. I praise you for each of these girls that are making the courageous decision to remain pure.
To remain pure. Such a bad idea. It's so harmful. I like how it's all about women, too. It's so fucking creepy.
Live in a world
It's always about, like, women, be pure. Women, be pure. Women, be pure. What about, like, men? Make sure you respect if a woman says no. Make sure you, you know, don't take advantage of people. Like, how come it's never about men and their behavior? It's always just about, like, women being pure and not, I guess, like, enticing men. It's really fucking creepy.
That thinks that sex before marriage is just very normal and very natural. We have so many people walking around in shame, burdened down by the choices that they've made in their past.
Okay. I'm going to the purity ball.
I love it.
I like that, sweetheart.
Okay, it's also kind of creepy that it's like the dad with her constantly. Like, the dad goes there and he's like, yes, no one will have sex with my daughter. Like, it's so... Yeah, it almost like sexualizes it. Honestly, no, not almost. It does almost like sexualize these women or these young girls completely, like, reverse. It's like the hyper obsession of sex makes them feel like, is my only worth here just like my sexuality? My ability to, like, please a man? Is there anything else here that matters?
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Incest
what I believe
vibes.
in is purity.
I don't think it's in... Is this in Alabama? Because then I would be getting a little nervous here.
Doing this purity ball, it's like a symbol to tell everybody that this is what I'm doing.
It's a big oath.
Yeah.
It's a big promise that you're taking.
And you may not accept it. You may think it's weird, but this is what I want to do because I want to take a stand for what I believe in.
So proud of you.
I want to make a promise to myself and to God that I will stay pure until I get married.
Oh, boy. Oh, uh-oh. We are in Louisiana. Holy shit. Okay. The plot twist. The tables are turning. She's only 17.
I don't have to have sex to know that I'm loved because I'm loved by God. My first boyfriend, it It lasted about 2 weeks because he
wanted more?
Okay, Dad. Can you go away?
There's a cross above all of the doors, and this is our cross wall that were custom made, and so those are kept in very, very special places. Each has a certain meaning, a certain feeling, a certain symbolism behind it.
I'll look at this one part real quick. Yeah, I just see out the light, my...
What the fuck?
I'm fighting a battle that I can't win. It's hard for me to realize what God sees in me. The smallest thing can lead to temptations to go further, and I want to stay as far away from those temptations as I can. Beautiful.
See, this is another thing too, is like, having like hormones and wanting to like have sex is seen as like this evil, impure thing, when it's actually like a completely normal part of like growing up and the like human experience. But it's taught as if it's this like more evil thing, you know, you want to stay away from that temptation. It's so fucking weird. Like, don't get me wrong, I respect anyone that wants to wait till marriage to have sex. I think that, again, that probably is the best thing. Personally, I wish that I had waited till marriage to have sex. But I don't think that teaching it as if that is the only thing that is ever going to happen, and not even entertaining the thought that something possibly different could actually happen, is extremely harmful and stupid.
You've opened my eyes to see.
Please stop singing.
To hear her say,
This guy's
"Dad, I
like,
wrote about
this
a
is
song
so fucking creepy.
And about me and my struggles, and this came out. Very, very proud, very, very happy.
I've set rules for myself. Like, I promised myself a long time ago that I will not be in a room alone with a guy unless it is family, because I know that is something that can lead to temptation.
Unless it's family, and then we just paused it on this. Okay. We're already in Louisiana. Hunter's getting scared.
Don't cry. Don't cry.
Why is your daughter being abstinent so important to you? Because it's a precious gift, and you can only give it once.
No, this is such a bad mentality. Oh, this is the thing right there. You can only give it once. It's a precious gift. No. It can be. The experience of having sex is what's like... Oh, God, dude. Hickety hee haw. Yeah, where's CTV? Oh, God. Let's go to the purity ball.
She do 90 days and then I can recommit. I said no. I said it's a 6-month lease minimum. I think if we're going to do this, she needs to make a commitment to 6 months. So we'll see. I never got the chance to go to a purity ball. No, I made one devaluing choice at 15 to become sexually active. Preparations are coming really good. I think that everything is on cue. That led to many more devaluing choices, so that by the time the decision of whether or not to go up and stand on a stage and take off my clothes, I didn't have a moral compass to even be able to make that decision. And so that stripped me of more of my value. And
This sounds like people with like bad sexual experiences, just like, like, what makes you think that getting married is going to make the sexual experience good necessarily?
Worth. The girls pull up, they'll have an opportunity to be met by the valet. And of course, that's a real special experience for them. It really begins to set the tone for that value. And it was during that season that I ended up beginning to know my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Unless they have lost their virginity, in which they are...
Yeah, it's a bit noisy in there, so we're going to pop in here. Sorry, it's a bit messy. Okay, how far out do you think y'all are? Oh, good. Good. Cool. I'm still at the country club. Bye. So they're getting everything picked up over at Heart of Hope, and they're going to be bringing that over here, so that'll be great. But what were we talking about? I have no idea.
Here's my cold take. Losing your virginity as special adults, arguably some of the worst sex you'll have in your life. It's just, it's going to be awkward. It's going to be weird, but like, I think everyone can agree that you should make the like good decisions. You shouldn't just go and have sex with anyone. That is something that can be a very emotional experience, and it should be done with consideration. Of course, I think that these are all things that we would agree with, but again, acting as if your only worth is built around whether or not you have had sex is such a fucking messed up view. It takes away all the intrinsic value from the girl. It puts it all on her virginity. It's creepy.
Between a father and a daughter, is that what this is?
No, that's really weird. This is definitely not a mock wedding between a father and a daughter. This is far from that. These aren't consenting adults. These are kids that can't even make their beds, and we're giving them life and death choices by encouraging them into early sexual activity.
So it's not even just about sex, it's about having boyfriends, kisses, everything.
Wait, but you guys are against like sex ed, which actually helps reduce that kind of shit.
Really is, because, you know, it all goes together.
Definitely going to be people to say why, and we're
What's
okay
your
with
problem with this woman's choice? Fucking weirdo leftist. Are you kidding right now? I said it's fine if she wants to do it, but it's just this emphasis on how like virginity is the only thing that gives you worth that's really fucking harmful and has already been demonstrated with the study I cited earlier. Do you want to get in the Discord and argue, or do you just want to like cry in the chat?
that. And I say, well, if two people love each other, how much more love can you give than to say, hey, let's wait till our honeymoon night? It is going to be hard. It's going to be tough. And she will be judged and laughed at. And hopefully she could take the heat.
Whereas when you take the opportunity to kiss a boy who is not...
Thanks, Dad. She will be laughed at. She will be scoffed. She will be mocked and bullied, thrown into a locker, perhaps even given a swirly. Just see if she's able to take it. Hickety-hee-haw.
Not your husband, and you don't know if he's going to be your husband because there's no guarantees. He hadn't put a ring on your finger. He doesn't even have a job. He's not even out of high school yet, okay? And you're going to kiss him. You're kissing somebody else's husband until you know otherwise. And what right do you have to kiss someone else's husband if you don't know that he's yours?
But he's no one's husband at the time. Oh. The Karen haircut really does make it, dude. This is beautiful.
What's that?
His future husband, I guess.
Well, yeah, somebody's future husband. That's the thing. We don't know. And I tell my young men, you're stealing something that's not yours. You're going to lay down with that young girl, potentially leave her pregnant, depending on your history, leave her with a sexually transmitted disease, definitely leave her emotionally fragile and 3 times more likely to attempt suicide, and then you're walking away. What gives you that right?
What do you mean 3 times suicide rate? Probably 3 times suicide rate if they've had sex and are now suddenly feeling shamed and guilted for it by people like you. I don't know where the fuck she got that stat from, but the boys only want one thing, says person endlessly thinking about a sexual experience that hasn't even happened and won't for years. Exactly. This kind of bullshit actually sets boys up for thinking that, like, it's only one thing. I gotta think about one thing. All right. Once we get married, we can finally have sex. Yes, yes.
You don't have that right. But we've given that right as if it is a right.
Dude, what if a dude is like a mega virgin, then he gets married, they fuck, and then like the post-nut clarity hits, and he's like, oh shit. This was, I don't, can we divorce? Oh, damn it. What did I do?
Right. And so the purity ball is an opportunity to say, you know what? No, that's not your right. Well, tonight we're all going to be gathering over at Heart of Maternity
We're going to the
We
purity
wanted to
ball.
make sure that every girl who is attending has a foundation to build her pledge of purity on. And so that's really what tonight is all about.
This is so fucking creepy.
Tonight, it's sort of like a celebration for all the girls that are going to be coming to the Purity Ball tomorrow. So we just want to encourage them, but give them sort of truth and knowledge that they can use as they go about their life from this point on. So.
And is it a road that you walk?
It is. When I was 22, I stopped having sex. I actually got an STD. I decided to, stop having sex until I was married, and I'm not married yet. So I'm still in that waiting realm, waiting.
I actually think these are just a bunch of people that have had like, not all of them, but I think a lot of these people are just people that have had like bad sexual experiences and are now like saying that like being pure is the answer to all of these things. I think the best thing to do after watching this is to just dip your balls into some holy water. That's what I would do.
But and it's been a difficult process, but it's been worthwhile. I wouldn't change it. So.
How old are you now?
I'm 29.
Yeah, of course you're going to be tempted.
So you're 29 with an STD and single, and I could make a joke. Oh, I could make a joke so bad. Oh, I shouldn't, though. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to hold back. But she's got an STD. At this point, it's like, are you the one who's abstaining at this point?
I wouldn't change it. So
How old are you now?
I'm 29. Yeah, of course
You
you're
realize
tempted.
that actually reducing, you realize, okay, this is hilarious. Be pure, because I got an STD. However, sex education and providing like protection and contraception actually greatly lowers the likelihood of you getting an STD. You are now part of the problem. Congratulations.
That's what we're here for. Choosing to be abstinent is the only way to avoid an STD. Only way. Is masturbation a sin? Yes. Because it's sexual immorality. Can homosexual people change their sexual orientation? Can't tell you the way to get out of it, but I do know it's sin. It's just sin. Can you imagine walking down that aisle and your future husband standing there, and not only maybe it being your first kiss, but God willing, it being his first kiss too? I mean, how cool would that be?
See, it's all about the girls. Even the guys, it's like, if the guys have already kissed some girls, slept around, boys will be boys, But you women, you are the precious, beautiful flowers who must be undefiled going into the marriage bed, according to the Bible. This is fucking creepy. Homophobia in here too? Man, this is... this is my nightmare.
I used to say that I'll save my first kiss for my
Homophobia,
wedding day,
nonsense.
but I can't
Oh
say
my
that I've
God.
gone, all my life without kissing a boy, because that would be a lie. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody strays from God's path. But, if you're really willing to turn your life around, then God will always forgive you.
Oh boy.
I just wish I could go. They're not letting moms go, and I want to go see it. So I'm very sad about that.
They don't even let the moms go, because only the dads... This is so weird.
Purity is really important to me because God, he tells us in the Bible that sex is for a man and his wife. Sex is not meant to occur outside of marriage.
Are you a little worried that the commitment you're going to make tonight is going to be hard to keep?
Well, abstinence can be hard for a lot of people, but I think it'll be probably easier for me than most people to keep it because I already set standards for myself. I think part of me would feel really guilty if I ever fell into that temptation, because I know I've already made that promise. I'm very proud.
Maybe that's why people have a higher suicide rate after they have sex. Maybe it's not actually because they had sex, but rather because they've been socially conditioned to believe that their only worth is built around whether or not they're a virgin, and then they feel immense guilt after engaging in sexual activity because of bullshit that you people teach. Maybe that could be. A lot of the time, it's hilarious because conservatives consistently whine and complain about problems that they actually create. It's the funniest shit. They create the problem.
Just who she is as a teenage girl that's so different from the mainstream teenager, and that when she makes a promise, she keeps it. Oh, it's on selfie mode. Then, because she's always taking selfies.
That's not very pure.
How you feeling about tonight?
Man, I'm just feeling pretty nervous right now.
Just a whole bunch of emotions. I want to laugh. I want to cry. Don't cry.
Just thinking about
Hey,
my
Lee.
daughter having
You
sex
not ready,
is gonna
sweetheart?
make me cry. Why are you thinking? He's gonna cry. Honey, you look so beautiful.
I promised myself I wasn't going to cry.
Don't mess up your makeup.
Okay, so this is like the idea of like a dad taking his daughter to a dance. Like I'm a dad. I have a daughter. I like this idea. But why does it have to be like, oh, honey, you look so beautiful as you go here to commit never to have sex? And by the way, honey, this includes anal. It's so,
Thank you.
Showing too much shoulder?
I have
Seriously.
chosen to believe
She wouldn't be allowed to go to that school, guys. She wouldn't be able to wear this outfit for the purity ball to go to that school with their dress code guidelines we looked at earlier.
that purity is what God wants for me.
Yep.
To others, it's going to be strange. Why are they having this almost like a mock wedding ceremony? I'm saying, why not? Why not show the people? Why not show the world what you stand for? We want to push for this.
That we stand for a mock wedding?
I am so honored to be the one to welcome all of you to the 8th annual Purity Ball, Cherish a Father-Daughter Experience. And ladies, can I just say that tonight is all about you, and every single one of you looks absolutely beautiful.
But don't entice the...
So we're going to have a key ceremony just for you men. And what this represents is you are the key for these young ladies. God, you are a father. And Lord, there's nothing you take more serious than your role as a father. And Lord, thank you for this night. Thank you for these fathers. Thank you for these daughters. Thank you for what this moment represents, God. In Jesus' name, everybody say
This
it.
is a cult! You must all stay virgins so that when it comes time to sacrifice, We can sacrifice the virgin to appease our holy father.
Amen.
Amen. You hold the key to your... This is... God, so fucking creepy. What is the key supposed to represent? Are you gonna, like, give it to her husband? Oh, I don't even... It's so gross and uncomfortable, man. And the daughters get a crown.
Mentors, fathers.
It's the key to their chastity belt. You know what? Maybe.
Look into the eyes of that young lady and repeat after me. I choose before God
They sign a contract.
to cover and pray for you in the area of purity.
Okay, girls, your turn. I make a commitment to a lifetime of purity, including sexual purity, from this day until the day I enter into.
It was absolutely enchanting, and I loved every minute of it. There's nothing
We got all these girls to sign the contracts that said they are not going to have any sex. They're going to stay nice and pure. When it comes time to sacrifice them, we're going to really have a good... I mean, when it comes time for them to get married, of course. This whole video could basically be summed up in one quick way, which is just, can we stop acting like your virginity is the only thing that gives women value? Fuck off with this shit. Newsflash, you can have sex and still be a pure person. Newsflash, what about purity from drugs? What if they stay pure from sex, but they shoot up heroin all the time? That's not very pure, right? But you never talk about that. Ugh. I hear my children. Runa, thanks for the $5. Check out the Duggars, prime example of religious zealots covering for pedos and blaming the women. Try to get their pedo son into politics. Shame. Hey. What is this? You made more? Oh, sweet. Carissa made potato salad. And then Crimson Melody, thank you for the $5, or for the $10. Hey Hunter, I got a super wacky reply to the comment I left on your last video. Can I send it to you in the Discord or something? You might get a kick out of it. Sure, I guess. Rest in peace. No! It was copyrighted. Uh-oh. Stop. Unblock me. No. 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 Please, YouTube. I'm begging for mercy. Centrist censorship strikes again. No. Is it just blocked up permanently now? No, wait, I'm back! No. We're back. Remember, it's a private platform. I know. The stream got suspended because apparently the video was copyrighted. And I didn't realize it, so fuck me, right? Yay, we're back. Now So, I wonder if this thing's gonna be copyrighted. Well, I guess that ends this one. So, yeah, basically, if you want to put all of your self-worth around being a virgin, then the purity ball is for you. It's just fucking weird, dude. I'm kind of scared to look at the other thing because I don't want to get copyrighted for this one. I had another video I wanted to look over too. It looks really old. I bet I'll be fine. Well, let's hope we don't die of this one, guys.
I'm Meridian Paulson. I'm 14, and this is my 3rd time going to the Purity Ball. I am
14!
So
In America,
Motherfucker!
There's a new women's movement
They don't
attracting thousands of young...
Bruh, they won't do sex ed, but they'll let 14-year-olds go to shit like this. Alright, I better keep an eye on my stream this time. Make sure I don't get in trouble. Wait, is it saying it's again? No, it's back up now. Okay. I got scared.
Girls.
I'm Kaylin, I'm 8, and I'm going to the beauty ball tonight.
What? No!
Old-fashioned
Holy
view.
shit!
Oh, we long for men to be men.
This
we are
is so
desperate
creepy.
For manly men to lead in a way that is healthy and honoring to women.
Be a manly man like me. Sitting back in his X-Files shirt, high off an edible, chowing down on some fucking potato salad. This is what you're staying pure for, ladies.
All about chastity, obedience.
I believe we women were created to need the strength of the man.
And purity.
We are too valuable to simply give ourselves away to young men who would not treat us with great respect, honor, and worth.
It's all about women.
So, that's, like, true, but, like, you shouldn't just let guys take advantage of you and treat you like objects, but, like, you're making it sound like the only worth a woman has is in her virginity.
Learning to follow.
There are children
men.
here.
And the man will be the leader of the household.
Yes, yes.
They're called purity balls, a sacred covenant between fathers and...
What? What the fuck is the sword? Is this like, if any of you break the rules, we'll cut your dick off? Is that what this is about?
Purity balls, a sacred covenant.
You heard it, boys. Keep your balls pure.
Between fathers and daughters.
Choose before God to cover my daughter as her authority and protection in the area of purity.
Where dads pledged.
This is so creepy. Motherfucker. There's children here, dude. They're sexualizing kids.
To protect their girls' purity until marriage.
We live in a consuming fire of pop culture telling our daughters that the culture has the answer and they, not you, should have the greatest influence on your daughters.
What? Maybe the daughters should have the greatest influence on themselves.
Colorado Springs in the Rocky Mountains. And the lounge room where it all began.
Let's pray. Father, thank you for the beauty outside. Thank you for your provision for this food and for Mom's work and the girls' work putting it together. In Jesus' name, amen.
Randy Wilson, the unquestioned head of his family of 9 that includes 5 daughters.
So Joe, Saturday, what's up? When do we start the rehearsal? And
It's 2 days before their next purity ball, an annual event he and his wife Lisa founded. In just over a decade, it's grown way beyond expectations.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like something we didn't set out to do. In our brainstorming session, let's start a purity ball. And in 12
Stop.
years, let's have it multiplied around the world. You know, it's
Never
saw it
coming.
Yeah.
No more purity balls,
Randy
dude.
believes
No more
the
pure
most
balls.
important relationship in a family is between the father and daughter. And as the role of dads diminishes, girls are suffering.
What have they gained from the purity ball experience?
Oh boy. Oh, you see their little faces.
Okay.
This is so creepy.
To know that you are so loved and valued that your father would plan, maybe for months, maybe a year, to go to an event like this, gives an expression of extraordinary worth in the heart of that young woman.
No, it doesn't. It sounds like the only reason she has worth is because she's a virgin. Why don't you just do a dance? My dad used to take my little sister to a daddy-daughter dance, and it was like a cute little time for the dad and the daughters to go to their dances together and have like a good time together. That's adorable. That's cute. Do something like that. Why does it have to be like, we're going to this ceremony because you are pure, because you're a virgin, and if you are not a virgin, then God will smite you.
And it sets the standard for her from that night forward that this is how she should expect to be treated by the men in her life.
It's just the affirmation.
Like her
and how am I doing
dad.
that? And am I beautiful? Like, that's a question that I think every girl wants answered. Am I beautiful? And Dad's there to give me that affirmation. Otherwise, I would be floundering, going, hanging on every guy, being like, okay, am I pretty? Am I beautiful? Am I worth pursuing? And that's what Dad's role in my life.
So you get the male affirmation from Dad until you get it from your husband?
Yeah.
Happy Valentine's.
But
Randy's 21-year-old daughter, Jordan. She's never kissed a boy and won't until her wedding day.
only her father.
For that one man, so that I can give myself to him only. All right, well, let's have some tea. It's just purely his and his alone for the rest of my life. That, to me, is full strength. I mean, that is the way that I think is the best way to live, just to save yourself.
Across the American heartland, purity balls are spreading. Hundreds of communities now hold events based on Randy and Lisa's. Preparing for the big one in Colorado, 14-year-old Meridian Poulton practices with her dad, John.
Whoa, wait, take a look.
I don't think 14-year-olds should be going. I don't think 14-year-olds should be like, you will never have sex until you are married, and your father gives permission to that.
Cares, he really loves me.
Until your husband holds the key.
Like many people in the movement, she's God-fearing and homeschooled.
You're dancing with Cinderella.
She's God-fearing and homeschooled. Can I get that on a t-shirt? I'm God-fearing and homeschooled, bitch.
I just
Look out.
to keep myself pure at all costs.
Do you think you'll be curious, when other girls are kissing boys? Do you think you'll be missing out on anything?
No, I'll just wait. And on my wedding day, we'll just have the first kiss, and it'll be absolutely wonderful.
Oh, goodness.
But for most, that first kiss comes much sooner. Often, just saying no just doesn't work. While abstinence may be an appealing concept to concerned parents, 82% of kids...
Okay. Oh, God. It's so hard to watch.
The pledge, it was meaningless to me.
A lot of times people think of purity balls, and then all of a sudden their minds just run fast towards chastity belts and control and grab hold of your daughter and, just lock her in a closet. And purity to me is they are uncorrupted. She gets a chance tonight to be a princess.
Yeah, uncorrupted. You're doing it, though, because that means if she has sex, she's been corrupted, defiled. She's no longer valuable.
It's the final rehearsal, the day before the ball. Gary Cruz will be guiding his 14-year-old
What has in
daughter,
her mouth?
Grace.
Is Dad a good partner?
Pretty good.
This is so uncomfortable.
For Shelby, at 19, it was her mother, not her father, who gave her permission to break her pledge.
I said, Mom, what would you feel if I said I wasn't going to keep my virginity pledge? And she was sort of quiet, and she said, well, you know how Dad sells cars? And I was like, yeah. She's like, well, we would never tell someone to buy a car without test driving a couple first.
True.
Would you be disappointed if one of your girls did end up having sex before marriage?
I think it would make us sad.
Do you give sex education to your children?
Before my girls were married, we just had the most wonderful talks. I mean, we would laugh and they would, it was just wonderful. Like, oh, wait until you just won't even believe it's unbelievable fireworks. Oh my goodness. And we still laugh about that. And so my daughter Jordan is waiting. She's like, can't wait to have that talk. So, well, I guess you have to meet somebody first.
Do you ever feel like you're missing out?
This is so Do you want my commentary, or do you just want me cringing in the corner down in this little box? Because I'm about to fold into a fetal position and not wake up.
I don't. I mean, I look at my siblings' lives and they come home with their spouses and it's wonderful and I'm like, oh, I can't wait.
We need to pray before we do our hair so we don't mess up.
Jordan's elder sister, Christian, saved herself from marriage and has no regrets.
I want to save my first kiss for the altar. But I know that's radical, but that's something I wanted to do. And that was my choice. He's like, oh.
I used to say that when I was young. When I was young, impressionable. A small, ignorant, but happy little Christian boy. Oh. How after I had sex, I became nothing but a depressed drug addict.
Electric. Phenomenal. Oh my gosh.
And so, the night of the ball.
It can, honestly, if you want to save yourself from marriage, or save, I don't want to say yourself, I don't like referring it to that way. If you want to wait to have sex until you're married, then that's fine. I think that there is something to be said that if that's something that's important to you, then go for it. But this over focus on it is just really, really creepy. It's kind of like, imagine, okay, here's the thing. It's like, if you don't want to get pregnant, you should wear a condom. Most people would probably like agree with that, right? But then imagine going to like a huge event where it's all about like symbolic stuff about like condoms and shit. Like eventually it's like, okay, we get it. Like it can be more like, hey, you might want to wait till marriage because there are things like you can develop attachments to people when you have sex with them, and that should be taken seriously. It's not something that should just be had on a whim. You should think about it. You should think about the consequences there, and you should be safe. And if you want to wait till marriage, then there can be some benefits there. Absolutely. So you could make an argument just the same that doesn't have to be like, your worth is defined by the fact that you are a virgin.
We ask your blessings upon this evening in every way, that you would indeed ignite a fire in the hearts of fathers here tonight that will take back territory that the enemy has stolen over the years. Amen.
We are not weaker women because we have chosen purity. God's standards of purity. We are stronger.
There's a covenant on your table, fathers.
The fathers made their pledges.
This covering will be used by God to influence generations to come.
This is so... Please tell me that... Please tell me that that little girls are not part of this. They literally made it sound like the vagina is like this, like Satan's territory.
Then, in a special ceremony, each girl dedicated a rose symbolizing her virginity to God.
Take this message now back to your community.
There's
And
children
those men that you
here.
Hang with, work with, meet with, have coffee with.
Honey, you're 19 and had sex with your fiance before you were married? Don't you remember when you put the white rose under the cross when you were 6?
Share the story with them. Encourage them to rise up as fathers and men in war for their families and their children. Bless the rest of this evening in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Well, let the ball begin.
Whip out your balls. I mean, shit. I mean, let's start the ball.
The dads and daughters danced.
Not only is it, in my opinion, horribly wrong, it's horribly sad. These balls also fit really well into the princess myth that young women are sold our entire lives, that you want a man to come and save you and take care of everything, and as a reward you're going to get to wear a beautiful ball gown and be a decorative ornament. And these girls get that early. They get to wear a beautiful gown and be an ornament and sort of make this promise so that they'll get to have it again.
We have a lost generation of fathers as well as a lost generation of daughters. And this is a focal point that brings both of these relationships together and builds a platform of honor. I think everyone goes away.
All right. Yeah. Those dudes' wives are looking young AF. Yeah, is this a fucking... Is this like in a Islamic ceremony? What's the deal with all the child brides? Are there a bunch of conservatives here? What's going on? This is just... I like that they brought a critic in. That really added to some balance here in this report. But holy shit, can we just stop with this? Come on, man. It's so creepy. No stopping until all the balls have been purified. It's just wrong in so many capacities. Yeah, your streams are interrupted when copyright content. Okay, yeah. I get the sense that dad's balls are impure. I don't want to think about it. Jeez, dude. This shit should be it should be illegal. How do you guys think about how do you guys feel about like like sex education? Cuz I think that shit's pretty important. All right. If you are under the age of 18, then I recommend leaving because we're going to be doing a fat rip of marijuana here in a minute, okay? We're going to be sticking around here for another 15 minutes or so, and then I'm going to be heading out because I'm a loser, but I'll be right back, okay? Don't go anywhere, guys. I love you very much. Bye. You know what this whole thing has reminded me of is, hold on. It reminds me of this song right here. I'm gonna get age restricted now too, just watch. This is not child friendly, okay?
Lord, he'll have to come in the back door. Therefore, fuck me in the ass because I love Jesus. The good Lord would want it that way. Give me that sweet sensation of a throbbing rationalization. It's just between you and me. Because everyone knows it's the sex that God can't see.
It's so heavily... Fuck me in the ass because I love Jesus. That is literally the... the theme here. Fun fact, this was one of the first videos Carissa ever showed me. When we first started going out. We're gonna do a little something here. What is this? A very disturbing video, as you can see. Alright, this is just gonna be one quick hit here. look so dorky whenever I smoke weed. Hunter, you got people in the waiting room that want to debate. What's up?
Hey yo, my man.
How's it going, man?
For a couple of years, actually. I remember you from way back when you were conservative.
Dang.
No. So I'm a little curious. I'm gonna. Yeah, there we go. I had your stream on in the background. I was closing it out. So
wait, hold on. Someone really quick before I talk to you. Crimson Melody, thank you for the $10. Hey Hunter, I got a super wacky reply to the comment I left on your last video. Can I send it to you in the Discord or something? You might get a kick out of it. Yeah, sure. Go ahead and send it. That sounds funny. Thank you for the donation, by the way. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, so it's kind of hard, I guess. There's not really much of like a formal debate, so it's kind of hard to really like put up a thesis. But I guess I think the first thing we could do to get some focus is kind of talk about the purity culture thing, because you know what? While you're talking, I was thinking that this seems to be a pretty relative phenomena, where like they'll have you say they'll have the balls and the dads will come with the girls and do all this stuff.
Mhm.
It doesn't seem like the previous generation, like your and my parents, did this stuff. So I'm thinking that
I
this
don't
seems a little bit
know.
more
I
of a
think
response.
I don't know. I think that there's stuff like this has been going on for quite a long time. I mean, throughout history, women have been kind of confined to like acting as if their sexuality is the only thing that matters. You know?
I would only say partly. I think throughout history we still had the idea of motherhood and actually raising the children and taking care of children and being in relationships. I would say that there's definitely always been a hyper focus on women sexually than on male sexually.
Mhm.
But I don't think the say purity ball specifically, I don't think that that's like that was a common thing until probably again like our generation, because like I said, if you had to ask your parents or ask anyone else's parents, like no one was quote unquote this pure. Like how I exist is my parents, you know, they they actually got married while my mom was pregnant, and then you know they had me. But
Mhm.
you know, between the rest of my family, very seldom were any of them like married. So like this whole heavy idea of needing to be a virgin just wasn't anything I'd seen in my family.
I mean,
It was
even if you're not familiar with it, though, doesn't mean that it's not like really common.
yeah. No, I'm not saying that it isn't common. What I'm saying is it doesn't seem like this was something our previous generation dealt with mostly, like this heavy-handed purity thing. It doesn't even
No,
seem like
that's
it's
definitely not true. If anything, it's only gotten more progressive now, right? Because
no,
people have been really
but you
strict
say
on that throughout history.
as heavy-handed as having a dad go to a ball with his girl as they dance, that's not something general. I don't feel
I mean, it
most
might
people.
not
In
be
fact,
general, but
if you
that's not the only
took this
aspect of it
idea
either.
and well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying specifically if you're talking about this idea of how you were cringing about it, I think that everyone's going to see that as pretty abnormal, except the people that are there, obviously. But I don't think anyone can look at a purity ball and walk away from it like, yeah, that's a swell, grand idea. Like most people who grow up in
Yeah,
in
but
just our
maybe
normal
they think a
culture.
purity ball is a little weird, but they don't think but they might actually think the idea that like, yeah, women should abstain till marriage, and you know, it makes them kind of, you know, damaged goods if they don't, and like that, those ideas can still be
But here's the
reinforced without the
thing,
idea of like a purity ball.
and that's true. So I think that we would have to actually start asking the question, is there a problem with having sex before you get married? And I would say, yeah, I think there's lots of problems, especially depending on the motivation of the people that are engaging in sex. Like,
Can you
would you
have
agree that,
consensual sex? You can
yeah,
have
I would,
consensual, normal, healthy
yeah,
sex outside of a marriage, though.
yeah, you can, and it could still hurt you. Like, for example, let's say you have normal, consensual, healthy sex with a guy that you've been dating for, let's say, 5 months. And then you guys break up afterwards because the whole time he was just pretending and he just wanted to have sex with you. Let's say it's the long game, but the sex was still consensual. You guys still agreed. You guys still went on dates, had fun.
Well,
But then
yeah,
he was
some
like,
people could be shitty, but like, they could just do the same thing with getting married, right?
Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
maybe not
You
something
okay?
as drastic as divorcing after they have sex,
Yeah.
but after they
Exactly.
have
So.
sex, the guy could change his demeanor, he could change
Mhm.
his tone, and already, I mean, we can even look through again throughout history and see how when we're when women are put in environments like this where they can't really leave the marriage, that puts them in a place where they can be abused more or less and can't really do anything about it. Like you can go back in
I
history
would
and look at
agree.
like the abuse of like spousal abuse back then, and women couldn't do anything. They couldn't survive without a husband.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would agree mostly, but I mean, I think that's more like the way the
And
world
now
kind
there's
of
a
looked at that
heavy,
period of
especially in
time.
religious circles, a heavy negative stigma around people that are divorced
I would say, yeah,
because
definitely.
of partially purity culture.
I wouldn't say it would be the purity culture. It would still more be the tradition. Like for example, like when you get married, the principal idea is you're supposed to stay with that person until you die. That's what the wedding vows are for. And
Mm-hmm.
usually, like a failure to adhere to that would address that there's some kind of issue or problem that went there. So I think that again, each marriage needs to be addressed and thought of critically. However, if people are getting divorced, say for frivolous reasons or like quote unquote unreconcilable differences, rather than because the person say cheated or the person was abusive, then the reason why we have a stigma on it is because divorce causes lots of damage, particularly to the children that are involved.
But
For
what if
example, my
there's no
parents.
children involved?
Well, then at that point, there's no reason to get married. Like if you're gonna get married and not have children, you've kind of defeated the purpose.
What?
I
I
mean,
thought
I
you just
guess you
said
could.
the point of marriage is to be together with that person until you die.
No, well, yeah, the reason why you're with that person till you die is because you have children. The principal idea is when you
No,
have
it's if you
children.
love. It's because you
Yes.
love the person and you're compatible
Uh,
with them and you want to spend
no.
your life with them.
Well, that's the way that's the way we look at marriage currently. But the principal point of getting married throughout history was to look at the responsibility that parents, mostly males, had to their children. Because with women, I mean, I guess you could abandon your child, but most women hopefully wouldn't. So it was to regulate the responsibility that we have over each other, that men have to the children they make, and
That's not
women
the
to the
only
children they carry.
point of marriage,
Okay, yeah,
though.
colloquially, like now we look at it, certainly
No,
not.
not even like. Well, okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
now,
Throughout history, yes, the idea
but
was
throughout
that women
history,
were just designed to basically be like baby machines. But
it's
that's
not
fucked
even,
up.
it's not even baby machines because I think you kind of have to not really take into consideration what raising a child requires if
I
you
have
just say
two
women are
kids,
baby
so.
machines. So yeah, so okay, so you know that the
But
mother
that's not
of
the
your
only reason you
children
get
didn't
married.
just hold on.
I
We'll get
reject the
back to
idea that
that.
the only reason you get married is so that you
Okay.
can have kids. That's wrong.
I agree, but we'll get back to that. But like, look at the girl that you're with. I don't know if you're married or not.
I am.
But okay. So is the only thing she did give birth to your children and then she just left?
No.
No, she feeds them. She teaches them how to read. She spends times with them.
And I do
So
too.
your children, okay, yeah, you too, and that's what I'm saying. Your role as a father is important there too. So imagine you just left. You're just gone. You think that's not going to damage your children in some way?
It would, but that's why you
Exactly.
shouldn't leave your kids.
Exactly.
This doesn't mean that
So
the only reason
so
you get
that's what the
married is
marriage
to
is
have
for.
kids. No, that's
So
not
it's
what
not the only.
people
Okay,
can be
so it's not
stick
the only
together for their
reason.
whole life and not be
So
married and
so
not have kids. Like it's
so
not the only
so
reason marriage. That's not the
okay.
only reason marriage exists.
So you can use anything outside of its intended function, but it doesn't change what the function is. So yeah, I could get married
So you're
to a
saying
woman
because
I just
marriage
like
was
her.
created to
Yeah.
make sure
So
that people raise children, that
yes.
marriage still to this day exists so that people can raise children. Wouldn't this
Well, I
be
wouldn't
like the
say it's the
origin
only. I
thing?
would say that I would still say that it's mostly its purpose. I would say personally, if you got married to not have children, you wouldn't need to, in my humble opinion.
So you could have
It,
sex?
you could, but I mean, I don't see why you would need to. You could, but I mean, the only thing you'd get out of that is just sexual pleasure.
Yeah.
You could do it, but it just kind of just begins and ends there. I think that
I
when it
just
comes
don't know
to
how you can say it's only for kids. Usually people
well,
get
it's not
married and then the
when I say
developing and good healthy relationship
only
between
for
the
quote
partners is
unquote.
what then fosters the healthy environment for a child. Like it doesn't need to be tied to marriage necessarily.
So here's the thing. When we look at relationships, there are more things than the one sentence I've said. To have children, to raise children, requires more than just having sex. It requires you to be present. It requires you to teach them. It requires more of you
And
to,
you
to
can be married
self-sacrifice.
and not be present, and you
And
could
you
be
could
not married and
exactly.
be present.
So you could be in a bad marriage, you could have a bad relationship, but it doesn't change in principle what it requires in order to be married and have those relationships. And the principal point is to have children and raise them.
I don't
So
know
that
where
would
that's the
mean
principal point.
we just explained throughout history that was the point.
I'm gonna look it up.
The reason why it was created was for that purpose. So when we have all these different elements there, which I think we kind of lost a little bit of the point because we were talking about purity culture. But my point was that having sex with numerous people prior to can be damaging to everyone, not even just women. And we're specifically talking about ladies, but it can be damaging, I think, to anyone. Having different expectations and having that crash on you, or having different expectations and then feeling used afterwards. I think it
I mean,
would
even the way that
absolutely.
we recognize it as the government, like you get tax exemptions for being married, but that doesn't really have anything to do with kids. I
No, it
mean,
doesn't. I mean that's
there
more of an
just if in the
incentive from the government.
I guess I kind of reject this idea, just that because this is how it used to be, that means it still has to be that way. I know it's kind of like a faux
That's not my
pas to
point.
use the word like fallacy in the debate or whatever, but like this is arguably called the fallacy of origin, which means because
That
something
wasn't my point though.
yeah, it
My
was though,
point
because
wasn't.
something
No, my
started
point
this
wasn't
way,
that.
that it still therefore is that way. That
No,
wouldn't really be fair
I
because if,
already conceded. No, I already conceded that people don't use it that way. They really don't, and I think
no,
that it's
but
bad
marriage doesn't
personally.
even mean
But
that anymore. That's not the only purpose of marriage
yeah,
anymore.
but I would say that kind of weakens its purpose in general. Though and I would argue that because people aren't using it as such as I've already laid out is also its own issue. So I understand perfectly well people aren't using it to have children. I think that's kind of the problem. I think the problem is the fact that because it's lost its function and purpose, it becomes a lot weaker.
Okay.
So that being said, I think we're going again when I was talking about like having sex like outside of your oh, hold on. Yeah, my niece wanted me to cook her some food, so
all right.
I'm gonna chat with you a little bit more, and then I'm gonna go.
Well, it's all right. I got to split anyway. I think that, just if things were done
You
that
know
way
what?
doesn't
Actually,
mean that it has to be that way. And I also
how
would be
about
really
this?
curious to know why it's even a problem if married people don't have kids.
I think one it makes it a lot easier to leave those marriages, and so it kind of binding your life to someone to
Isn't that
kind of leave
super
easier.
unhealthy? You should be able
I
to,
would
you should
say,
want to stay with your partner. You shouldn't need kids to like anchor you
yeah, that's
down.
true. That's true. But I mean, at the same time, it does become easier to leave. It doesn't really have the same weight or value in society without that. So, like, if you're not
This is
producing
kind of a
children,
weak reason why, because that's kind of a
I
flaw of the
don't think
partner
so.
then.
I don't think so. But no, I think we could actually, if you're about to leave, then we can probably go on Twitter and find a better time to talk.
Yeah, maybe another time, man. Either way, appreciate you coming on. See ya. All right. Man, I don't want to leave my lovely Twitch fans yet because I'm not used to having so many views on Twitch. It's insane. Marriage should be a lifelong lock. Personal happiness be damned. No one else is streaming. Hey, watch your mouth. All right, I'm not seeing anyone else that looks like they are too interested in debate. I am going to go ahead and check the email. I do have a PayPal. Thank you, Melissa McDonald. My favorite person, literally ever. Stash jar looking rather low there, bud. Stay lifted, my friend. Thank you. Yeah, look. Look at this shit. Wow, wow. Gone. Thank you very much. I appreciate that immensely. So thank you. Well, thank you to everybody that generously donated. Thank you for the raid. I had a lot of fun. Your YouTube went down, that's why? Maybe. But I got a raid from Denims earlier, too, and it was really nice and really helpful. I hope the new people who watched today enjoyed the stream. Hopefully you enjoyed tuning in. I am going to be doing regular streams again. And as I've been saying, the more and more as you know, my kids get a little older, it's only a matter of time till they're in daycare, and I'm going to have a lot more time to do longer streams. Because if I had it my way right now, I'd stream for probably another hour or two. But I do have to go. I have children, got that trad life. Apparently the only reason I got married was actually to have kids. But either way, don't go to purity balls, but do keep your balls pure. Matt Walsh, he did his pathetic stunt, and at the end of the day, he's just a dumb cunt. And then Fox News, we saw how they were completely dishonest with their headline. Very fun. Either way, guys, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Make sure if you're watching, you click that follow button and turn on notifications so that you will be notified when I go live next time. Who knows? Maybe I'll go live again today. You know, maybe when my kids are in bed, I'll go live again. Who knows? But you'll know if you turn on those notifications. Hit that follow button. And thank you to everybody for tuning in, for subscribing, for watching, and for donating, of course. It means so much. And I enjoyed streaming for, 3 hours. It's pretty good. Yeah. Love you all. Peace.